All right, so she is only a level 1 cleric.
I she would have leveled up at least once by now. My goodness, girl, what have you been doing?
Not adventuring.
Not adventuring, man. She's been hanging out, converting people. So, like, she has 1,000 XP because she has converted some folks. But, like, she has not been risking life and limb.
I mean, hanging out on a farm surrounded by a bunch of goblinoids?
No, actually, because of that, she was actually pretty safe the whole time. Because
Yeah.
Very well behaved goblinoids. Thank you.
We'll have to level her up.
well, specifically, you get to get her equipment because it's whatever you would have put on her.
Well, we have an extra suit of armor.
Yep. Got a lot of.
We
You guys had a lot of
gear,
shit. Like,
actually.
yeah, it's
Let's see. Oh. We've got a suit of plate mail she can wear. Magic items. I've got this warhammer she can use. We got maces and swords.
yeah. I mean, if you want to have given her, she has I think 3 weapon
Are
skills,
you-
man.
Are you ready to take arms? Like, oh shit! I mean,
Yeah,
all right.
literally, it's like, oh hey, our buddy made a first level character. Let's power level him. And you're like, oh wait, magic items aren't soulbound? Oh yeah, we can do
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, I'll twink you out right now. Let's do this. Yeah, no, fuck it. Probably shield and warhammer, just like I've got. Let's just teach her how to do it. Or she would have already been taught by the clergy.
Yeah. What would be the 3rd weapon then?
Could she? Actually, let me check. I'm thinking maybe 2nd of warhammer. Cause I can train her in that.
No, but she's still only 1st level, man. She can't.
She
doesn't
can't
have-
go high. That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. They can do anything though, right?
Teach her the ways of the halberd.
I mean, it needs to be something that's church appropriate because that's what she would have been practicing. She can
Yeah.
learn other ones now, but her first 3 kind of need to be church appropriate. So Warhammer, totally fine.
Not in
Sling would be totally fine.
Shield, absolutely.
Shield's totally fine.
I mean, all of the hobgoblins know how to use a halberd. So I feel like if they taught her halberd, that would have been totally legit.
Sure.
I mean, I could teach her halberd.
Yeah, exactly. That way she can stand in the back a little bit. I don't have to send her up front.
Trying to find all the uses I could do for my teaching skill, basically.
Hell yeah. Spend a couple of weeks training her up.
Professor Asiago here.
Yep.
Gotta teach you some lessons.
Alright, so we don't
then-
have a magical halberd, but I'm pretty sure we have a regular one somewhere.
But you also have a magical Warhammer, so
Yeah, she can carry the warhammer, that's not a problem. Or just buy a halberd in town.
and then she has 4 skills to get. General skills. Did you want to look at the skills list?
Yeah, let me look at the skills list real quick.
Take her cantrip. Innate magic.
Yeah, I suppose we don't have it listed. I'm almost positive, though, that I had a +1 halberd. And
That we weren't using.
I just got that crescent moon.
Yeah, no, we totally did, because this one has silence. I don't know, it was just
It
basically
could have
like...
been that you had it on your character sheet, and then rather than move it somewhere else, you just
Yeah.
overwrote it.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Yeah, so you should go put it in the treasure sheet, because I do remember you had a magic halberd.
Yeah, and then we got the other one, and it was just like, oh okay, well, add silence to it now.
so. Like, hey, halberd's great, because you just let them stand in front of you. They take all the fucking hits. And you kick some ass, trust me.
Alright.
Trust me.
Yeah, no, chop them up. Fucking flame alive from 10 feet away. It's great. All right, so we're gonna give her artillery, dwarven forgecraft, and wrestling. Seems
I think ceremony.
Wrestling. And wrestling. No, we're wrestling. Screw the books.
She likes to throw down. What can I say? A couple of drinks in her, and woo wee.
What the?
I could imagine having to wrangle stuff out of the mouths of goblins and hobgoblins. Like, no, we don't eat that. Stop that. Stop it. Stop it.
Smack.
Hand them to the ground, get them in the head, like, drop it right now.
It would be how you would have assert dominance, like, without
Totally would.
murdering the shit out of it, but like.
Oh god. So what happens if a follower takes leadership?
It means that in cases where they're asked to make a leadership role, they can get a bonus on it.
Doesn't leadership also give you the ability to like recruit other followers? Can we just have like a
Yeah, but
Matryoshka
what it
doll
really
of
means
followers?
is that if you put this person up at like a site, they can manage it well and like lead the people there. Like at a like, oh yeah, we bought like the farm, put somebody with leadership in charge of it, which weirdly enough you did. Sark has leadership.
Oh, hey, well, that's convenient.
So he's going to organize it better. It's not like he's going to get his own like followers and amass this huge force. It's like, no. He's just going to be better at like being a manager because he has leadership qualities.
Okay. I don't know. Like from a metagame perspective, is there anything that we're missing that would be like, hey, that's convenient, you have that? Otherwise, probably just like the standard affair.
Like ceremony, I'm going to guess minimum.
Yeah, ceremony minimum. That makes sense. You know, we could.
Do you want her to be like an oracle so she's learned how to like take some like readings using the Church of Traladaran styles?
That'd be cool. I was just getting to that skill. I hadn't actually seen it through.
Yeah,
Yet.
she can have a tarot deck and she can do tarot readings.
Hell yeah, let's do that. That sounds fun.
Does she have some charisma? Because we don't talk so good.
Yeah, no, she's got charisma. She's got a +1 charisma.
Hey, let's go.
She's the face of our party.
No, here's the thing. Like, Sark also had a +1 charisma. You guys literally just swapped a +1 charisma person for a +1 charisma person.
Yeah. You know, I'm tempted to give her like diplomacy.
Yeah, but we
or
deal with more
something.
humans than we do with orcs or tribal kind, so
That is
Yeah.
that is
Easier
true.
to travel, yeah.
our plus is more like plus, and you're white, so you make people feel comfortable.
It's fucked up, but so true. What is the like diplomacy skill here? Is there one?
No, I mean diplomacy skill is just it's the combo of you role playing either leadership or just a straight charisma roll.
Okay.
It depends on what you're actually trying to do. Like if for instance, if you're trying to impress someone through a reading, yeah, that's an oracle thing. Are you trying to talk them into like a religious thing? That's probably ceremony. Are you trying to argue a court case? That's probably law and justice. So it is really comes down to the kind of thing you're trying to do. And fallback is always just a charisma check.
Fair. Ooh, how about we give her a profession like trader?
Actually,
Yeah,
give her, like,
The
law and
Benedict
order.
Arnold skill, excellent. Oh, I mean, you guys were gonna buy and sell things, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
I
was
mean,
actually kind of
Go ahead, sorry.
intrigued by the. I was gonna say I was actually kind of intrigued at the notion of turning her into our Better Call Saul.
Be like,
It's true, you never know with Linus.
throw some tarot cards to determine your legal fate.
Yeah.
Or just give her law and justice and tarot so she can like twine the two.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Feels very on brand.
All right, done.
Wait.
One
We're-
more.
we're
You get one
we're-
more.
We're taking her to the jungle. Law and justice isn't gonna do much here.
No, but it means that you guys can use it as the basis for things.
That's true.
Yeah.
This is also
Yes.
what skill she's developed while she's been here, and not what she should have, so we can metagame when we go to the island.
Like your
No,
metagame
but-
can be, you can give her skills on the island as she levels. She's
I
not
can
gonna.
absolutely
It's not like she's
figure-
gonna level slow.
No. But like, she's also got a penalty to int, which is the only issue.
It's charming, but not too bright.
Yeah.
Barbie girl living in a Barbie world.
Yep.
Life in plastic.
Yeah, I mean, shit. Now I know why all the goblins love her.
It's fantastic. Yeah, she doesn't talk down to him. Like she encourages them, and she's smart enough to know that like praising them because they can lift the big heavy things because she has a strength of 8. Like everything works out.
I think leadership would actually be good for her, having lived this life for a year. Like, it feels appropriate.
Leadership. Done. Yeah, so she has ceremony for Traladar +2. Law and justice, Traladar +0. But like literally she's good enough where like that just means that she can actually go in front of a court or a lord and say the right things to not sound uneducated.
It helps.
And then leadership +2 and oracle +2.
Come in handy when we eventually have to deal with that fucking vampire.
Mm-hmm. That's why we're bringing her, so we can level her up, so she can be like, no, stop it. Really, really inconvenient that I leveled up when I did. It's because I just dealt with him right now.
1 second, I'll be right back.
I could have turned undead. Level 8. Pushed him into a corner. Four HP. He is squishy. Granted, I was also very squishy.
You know,
Death by beetle?
what was it? Asiago started with 2 HP, right?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Stiff breed.
Hey, you're almost dead. Wait, come venture with us. Oh yeah, that sounds great.
He
Right.
looks like when he sneezes, he almost dies. So
Right. Someone breathes in his direction and he falls over.
stretch a little too hard, pull something. Blech.
Art rides by, dies from the aftershocks. All right. Well, we got our new party face.
What's her name?
Avino.
Avino?
Filaretti. She goes by Avino. Her name is Filaretti.
You know it is.
Okay, bonus -1 or +1. She's a -1 strength.
I thought thought I recognized that name instead of the fucking name of a lotion brand.
I was gonna say, I'm 99.9% certain that's a fucking lotion. I'm pretty sure I just bought their moisturizer, like, this afternoon.
Yeah, that's some good shit. Yeah, actually, I mean, that's some good
I'm
shit.
working on trying to, like, my mom was telling me that, like, as I get into my 40s, get ready for, like, your skin to start getting hella off. And so they were like, you want to start that now, so.
I guarantee when whoever was writing the module that she came from was putting pen to paper, they were looking around the room for names for this chick. And they saw that fucking lotion bottle sitting on the counter. They're like, perfect.
Sure, no one's gonna notice.
Google
And
doesn't
they
exist
could-
yet. This will be fine.
And if they do notice, it wasn't Matter.
I named my fighter Mike's Hot Honey infused with chilies.
It's a good name.
Campbell's, no!
My name is Frank's Red Hot.
My name is Le Croix.
Well, Mr. Red Hot.
I'm Oscar. Oscar Meyer.
Bye. Hot dogs. Armor hot dogs. Yeah.
What kind of kids eat armor hot dogs?
No, you wear them. That's the thing. You don't eat those ones.
Well, enemy
That's
becomes too
fair.
distracted. They can't fight you.
Ooh.
They just want to nibble on your arm.
And
must resist urge to create NPC
Oh,
whose nickname is Hot Dogs.
the hot dog fighters from fucking Adventure Time. Hell yeah.
Yep.
they're
pretty terrible.
They were terrible. That's I mean, yo, hear me out though. We're talking about a Jackie. It seems like Jackie's kind of soldiers.
Hot dog nights.
The hot dog nights.
Hot dog nights.
I threw these on the grill, forgot about them. I know, I forgot about food, right? Over time, caught some of that Fey magic somehow, and here they are. Living hot dogs.
So anyway, this is Bob.
Alright, fucking.
This is Bob.
It was a
Dude.
barbecue.
Bob's dead.
The barbecue.
Bob-
rolled
Bob
off the
didn't-
grill.
God damn
And, like
it,
into a bush.
barbecue.
And I never found it again.
Oh,
I
fuck
thought
me.
like some animal got it. Turns out, rolled into a Feywild portal, gained sentience, and now
Hey, that's some shit.
Bob didn't make it.
You know, honestly, at this point, it's really hard to travel with him because every night he just smells so damn good.
I mean,
Sits by the fire, attracts the wildlife. I'll tell you what. Alright. She gets one spell.
what's
Uno
it gonna be?
Dispello.
That's a good one.
Sorry about that. Roommate had a laundry thing. I had to move mine over. And then Everett had a brain epiphany about New York just having legalized marijuana. So he's like, I should get my dad to bring his band and we'll do an Emerald Cup concert.
There you go.
I mean, Fishbone. Like, that's...
Yeah.
There you go. His dad is, you know...
That is a good
the
idea.
reason why it's called Fishbone.
Wait,
All
the
right.
band Fishbone? That's his
Yeah.
dad?
His dad's the bassist.
Oh shit!
That's sick.
The lead singer he calls Uncle.
Nice.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that totally looks like Everett. Holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah, so
If I didn't-
whenever they play in the area, like he and Johnny go to the Fishbone concerts.
Oh, that's dope.
So he used to barbecue with like Flea and the other guys from the Chili Peppers because the Chili Peppers loves Fishbone.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Damn, if I didn't know any better, I'd say that was Everett. Just like aged like an extra 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck?
Very much so. Very much so.
Alright, so we got hand lotion lady. All leveled up, ready to go.
Yeah, the Aveeno was Gabe wanted to call her that, I think.
Yeah,
The
no,
nickname.
me and Mona both can't realize yet. That is a lotion brand for sure.
Yeah, it is. Now, I actually don't remember if it was Gabe who came up with the nickname or if it was one of you guys that came up with the nickname and Gabe just ran with it. Both are possible.
I
Both.
thought she was named that in like the area we found her.
No, like, she was going, like, Filaretti, but, like, I was like, I think I said maybe, like, I need a nickname for her that she'd go by. And I think somebody said that, and then and then, like, I wrote it down in the log. Because I went back through the log and found the entry where you met her, and, like, there it was, and, like, Aveeno was in quotes. It's like, oh, that's a nickname.
It was one of y'all that saw the lotion bottle.
Again, we're pretty sure it was you because Jay and I both recognize it as being a lotion.
I have never used that lotion in my life.
Which
Thank you very
which
much.
leads more credence to why you might just name
Exactly.
it that without thinking about the lotion. You might have just seen it and it in the back of your brain.
Well, how's it spelled? A-V-I-N-O?
No, it's spelled. All right, so here's the thing: the way it's spelled, immaterial, because I spelled it. Gabe
Ah.
didn't tell me the spelling, so I spelled it the way it's pronounced phonetically.
Okay.
Aveeno,
Okay.
Aveeno,
Okay. That is definitely.
because I'm not Latin. So, because if I was, I'd pronounce it we know.
Oh, we know. Oh, we know it. Oh, we know it.
because proper Latin, the V sound is a W.
All right. I have given her Cure Light Wounds because that seems like a good travel spell that someone like this would have.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And you should give her some armor too.
Yeah, that's probably not a bad
Yeah,
idea.
so we already
Plate
did.
mail.
And shield.
Wait.
That
We
gives her a
have plus-
17.
No, it's not a +1 plate mail. That's okay.
But you do have plate mail.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys last time had left your farm, collected things up, went back down to Specularum, done some last-minute things in Specularum, including studying, brewing potions. Asiago has rediscovered his love of potion making. The last time he probably did it in the regular was like maybe 100 years ago, and he's like, "Oh, I've rediscovered it. Why did I ever set this aside? Oh, I was fishing."
All right, I went to go get supplies at the fishing market, and I just fell in love with fishing.
Went to the Bass Pro Shop, and then the next thing you know, 100 years has passed.
Yeah,
Blink of an eye.
near-death experience and all. Of a sudden, yeah, we just took up the fishing.
Suddenly you've leveled. It's like, yeah.
All right. I'm gonna
And
go.
I rolled hit points for her. I rolled a 4, so she actually has not horrible hit points at first level.
Not the worst.
Oh man! So the first time I ran this D&D, the reason why I have the institute, the half level, sorry, the half hit point thing, is because the first
Fucking
session
Everett.
we played, Everett rolled a 1 on his hit points on an elf, and he literally stuck his head in something, and the trap was roll D4, save for half. And I rolled minimum 1, which half of minimum 1 is still 1, so character's just dead because
Yeah.
he made a save.
He made his save. He still died.
How?
There's no negative hit points in this. There's no going unconscious. You hit 0. Goodbye.
I mean, I've instituted the going unconscious thing. Like if someone hits just 0, like I'm fine with some healing because I think it flows better. You guys are supposed to be heroes. It's not we're not playing a gritty freaking like cyberpunk. Like oh god, I got shot with a 12 gauge and now I'm dead.
This is gritty adversarial D&D. Hello. I expect my characters to die with stiff breeze.
No, there's one of the game designers, the guy who owns Kobold Press. He's one of the guys that recently broke with Hasbro officially and is making their own version of basically 5th edition, but with no references to the open gaming license. The dude who owns that company doesn't believe in anything post 1974, but he writes new stuff because it sells. But he in his personal game, it's like no, you level, you get a d6 hit points per level. When you swing your weapon, it does d6 damage. Your stats are for rolling like under on 3d6, or sorry, to be successful on it.
Damn.
It's hardcore.
I was gonna say, it
D20 system.
doesn't seem like you'd ever do much.
No, it's actually apparently he runs this at conventions that he goes to. It's an ongoing campaign that he only runs at conventions.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
And it's the way it works for open invitation is as many people as want can sign up, but only the first like 8 get to start. And then as soon as someone dies, they're out of the room, and then someone else who's in the hallway gets brought in.
Oh, fucking wild.
That's funny.
And the sessions are all 12-hour sessions.
Wow.
And you don't get to come back until the
Hey.
outside is fully cleared. And everyone starts at level 1, no matter what mission they're on.
Hi, Fodder. Welcome to the game.
Yeah.
And apparently there's this one guy who goes to every convention that this guy runs the game at, who has like a level 15 character.
What the fuck?
Oh my.
Because the dude just, like, it's his, like, favorite PC that, like, has never died and is fairly cautious and thinks through everything and tries to reason out what he's doing because it's all about, like, oh, yeah, like, imagine yourself there. Like, would you just step inside the room without checking for traps first? So, yeah, that's hardcore TNT.
Jesus. That sounds about right.
We're playing hardcore. If you die, you're out of the game.
Banned from the store. Get out of here.
I rule Blackleaf dead. All right, she's done. Gabe, you now have possession of character sheet.
Mwah.
And I have the log. I have XP.
Rufino, we will rule the world together.
I mean, sure.
No.
I mean,
That's mine. You can get your own dream.
more about convenience at this point. We got 2. When it was just the 1, I mean, there's a lot of world to go around. There's a lot of worlds to go around. Pass it around. 99 worlds on the wall. Alright. So we have made it to town.
Yeah. Well, no. You guys had gotten the boat. Like last time, you guys had done a bunch of like prep stuff, so that everybody had
right.
gotten spells and all that kind of stuff. And we were now moving on to it's time to hit the road, Jack.
Alright. Let's hit the road, Jack.
We
Do
were
we need
building-
anything else? We got a ton of money worth of shit to sell. Did we decide whether we were gonna... That's right, we hadn't. We needed to decide whether or not we're going to offer first dibs to any trading companies or merchant groups. And if we do, how do we want to do that? There's also... This was misunderstood last time, but I still find it very amusing. There's also the chance that we could potentially hire on the Black Eagle Barony as our first guys to say, hey, there's a bunch of new slaves down here. You should come get them. And when they get there, we kill them all.
Well, are you going to go to the Black Eagle Barony to invite the Baron?
We could. We have our talking face now. We could go to the Black Eagle Barony, be like, "Hey, Baron, come with us. We got this cool island."
I think my original idea was to lead him to the Krakens. I was just like, yeah, get that fucking... Because we know, like, all the surrounding area as far as, like, granted, it's not like, you know, creatures can't move around, that sort of thing. But we did have a good sense of, like, the danger spots of the island. So just lead them in some perilous shit that we avoid, they take on. But yeah, I like number 1. I like number 1. I think number 2 has too many potential shenanigans.
I don't know. This seems like just risky as hell. But
Yeah, no. The
It was a funny
first time
idea.
I proposed this, there was the discussion of we actually just sell the slaves. It's like, wait a minute. Didn't realize Linus was a slaver. But you know, sometimes drugs change people, okay?
didn't think it changed them that way, but alright.
Anyway, I think a merchant guild sounds just fine. Like, we can do our own merchanting, and then we supply extra to some of the other, like, prestigious merchant guilds, and we just...
So most
Take
of
a
the
cut.
merchant guilds in town here would like to, if they're going to do it, would very much like to be given monopoly.
Monopoly.
Yeah, they would like to have a monopoly on access. So I don't know if you guys want to actually grant that. What you could do is just start telling people that that port is going to be open for trade, because that's different.
Yeah.
Because if you're trying to invite them, like if it's an official invite, then they're going to want like some sort of contract, and very much the local merchants are like, yes, we would love to come there to be part of this as a monopoly for trade. That means not inviting other people, that kind of stuff.
What are they offering for a monopoly? Because, I mean, you know, if we let one group in, is it worth our while versus having hordes of people come in?
No, I mean they just want they'll bring things to trade, but they want a monopoly on the trade.
Yeah. But
That's Gabe. That's what they're offering.
that's just what they're offering. They're not even offering to like pay us for the opportunity for a monopoly. They're
They'll
just
bring
like
trade goods for you to trade.
that. No, we want to cut
Yeah.
percentage of the goods
Hmm.
for our knowledge.
Hold on. Team battle. Well, so their whole idea is like that's all they're thinking about is the idea of trade, that sort of thing. I think the implication that this is actually pretty dangerous, and they're not going to exactly. I mean, there's a reason why this trade route hasn't been developed. It is, a bit of a journey, a lot of wrong turns. Maybe we have to put the implication of the danger of the trip, and as a guide, maybe that would be able to, get a little coin out of them. But otherwise, yeah, it seems like they're just gonna play hardball.
Yeah, like for the most part, if you want to try to get investors to show up, especially for something involving potentially losing ships going across the sea like this, having good charts and making those available to people will mean that ships will show up.
Ooh.
Trying to get them to sign on here and pay them money ahead of time before they even do the thing isn't anything anyone wants to risk, because there's a potential to risk an entire ship on this.
No, they'd give us a percentage of whatever they sold.
Do we have any product? Do we have anything from the island currently?
I thought we brought some stuff back, didn't we?
Yes, but I think you guys sold most of the stuff when you got back to town.
Fuck.
Yeah, we
Probably.
did.
Damn it.
Sounds like
That'd be the thing.
I mean, like that's what
Like,
you guys expected to do. It
gem
wasn't
shards,
like this was.
yeah. But like to I don't know, to show what
You guys
what
can
goods
tout it
are
up.
there.
You guys can like before you leave, because you guys had a couple weeks of Specularum where people were doing things. Some of the folks could just like spend some time in and around like near the docks, spreading the word. Maybe even trying to sell some maps of it. I would say that there's a chance that you guys could have sold several copies. Someone would have to spend some time making the map, but you guys could sell some rudimentary maps showing like some currents and then outlines with the islands and showing distances. That's enough for people to like think about going. You may not get a lot of takers this year, but like next year when you guys have come back a couple of times, all of a sudden, yeah, then there'd be like a gold rush.
Alright.
So why don't we like fluff it up a little bit? And
He's like, "There's gold."
yeah, there's gold. There's really cool shit. There's great
Yeah,
people to come drink with.
It's a secret jungle city of gold hidden somewhere in the island. Because nothing ever goes wrong when you go to a new world and then you tell a bunch of people back in the old world there's secret hidden cities of gold in the jungles. Fine, nothing goes wrong.
Nothing goes wrong. I mean, we could sell some maps right now and kind of, spice it up a bit. Or we could go back to the islands, get a shitload more stuff, send a small trade supply route that we set up ourselves, and then when we have more money, we establish more of a trade route just for ourselves, and then maybe sell the maps once we've got kind of a foothold in here.
So what's the goal for all the money?
I mean, what else is money for? All of the things?
I think Linus is trying to become a dragon.
I mean, obviously. Is there no other goal in life? How are you gonna rule the world if you can't just fly over and destroy your enemies?
I mean, money can't buy you the world.
Exactly. You have to turn into a dragon first, and then you can buy the world.
That's how it works. Okay.
Yeah, it's all about apotheosis, man. That's like the next stage. Once your pile of gold is big enough, you just become de facto ruler.
Because all I'm saying is, it sounds like most of our planning here is based around making profits. But
Yeah, I mean,
why?
For you, I thought a lot of this was tied to the ability to potentially evolve your dragon friend that we're trying to, grow into being the best that he could be.
I mean,
Exactly.
I don't need money from our group to do that, but
we need to.
Yeah, you do.
We kind
need
of
money.
You need to collect wealth. That's the whole thing it's based on.
Yeah,
You sure as
that's
shit
the-
are not collecting that money without us, motherfucker.
No, I could just join an order and like become a
But-
Dragon Knight. But
No,
like,
that
if-
doesn't lead to
if,
it. That
if,
is not
if
it.
the reason for making money is for my dragon, like okay.
I mean, this has been discussed. I thought we definitely discussed this in the in-person game. I'm just saying. Like there is the idea of a dragon growing and becoming stronger, but I think the implication it's to truly like evolve is based on an amassed wealth.
Yeah, it's a huge amount of gold that he needs, and you can do that as a dragon rider, but generally only if you're a wealthy noble, which Blarth is not. The reason why, they're trying to buy it from you all the time is because they want your dragon, because a bunch of noble families need prestige. And so majority of the families that have a dragon are nobles, and thus they can evolve their dragon. You are not that.
Do we want to take over the land we have the farm at and like build a castle there and stuff?
I mean, that's definitely
That's
a
Eleanor's
possibility.
plan. Like, Eleanor's plan is to become Queen of Monsters in the
I-
region.
And I thought that was actually discussed. Didn't we talk about like surrounding areas?
We did,
Yeah,
Plan-
and then we
yeah.
left.
yeah.
as,
No,
as we do.
the whole point is we get enough money. Like right now we've set up the whole village that we've basically established to go out, start farming, start establishing themselves, and start mining the hills that we bought a shitload of space on.
Which I think
One-
there was like vampire, right?
So there's vampires nearby, but he's not.
And underground goblins, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
and there's underground goblins. We told him to leave him alone or try and persuade him to come to our side. And so once we leave them there for a while, they mine out all that shit, they establish themselves, and then we can slowly buy up more land over there when we come back. But we need a lot of gold to do that. We need a lot of gold to do a lot of things that we want to do, even individually. So
Yes.
going to the
Yeah,
city
that's,
of gold,
that's all I'm checking. I'm just trying to see exactly what it is the goal is for the money. Because like once I know what the goal is for the money, then I know exactly how much money we should be trying to get.
hundreds of thousands, if not millions.
From what I can tell, as Linus's goal is to get all the money.
Yeah, every single money that exists needs to be his.
All the money.
And that way, humanity won't be able to destroy nature anymore because they won't have any money, and thus they'll be in poverty.
Gold rules everything around me. Green get the money. Dollar bill, y'all.
You get it?
No.
Asiago, I didn't know you were a kindred spirit.
Goldie coin now.
He's an elf.
He's just
He
old
gets
and
these things.
he's seen this happen before. Humans are kind of predictable. Y'all do this every like 20 years or so.
Next, you'll be starting a sex cult. Like, there's a pattern to this.
Yep.
Oh shit.
Then there's gonna be a reality TV series about your time in the sex cult, in which you will tell all book about the demons that you battled while within the sex cult, and then you'll have your full circle moment where you go back to your original god.
Yeah, and then it turns out you're super addicted to cocaine and you have to go to rehab.
Yep.
The best part right there.
You don't lie.
It's like really predictable.
Don't cry.
Oh yeah, the good old sex call. I remember my college years.
Linus, how old are you?
I mean, yeah, bro, like, you're right there. Alright, fucking freshman. You're like,
here's the documents for the
oh,
sex
you like
cult.
19?
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect.
How old is Linus now?
Freshy.
16. So
Oh my
he's-
god, what?
he's a youngin.
You're
You
16
were 16
years
when
old?
we started.
No,
Yeah,
he was
you-
15 when we started.
You
It's
should
been
be one
more
more
than
year
a year.
older.
No
The campaign started 2 years
way.
ago. So you should be another year
Oh,
older. You're
he's 17 then.
Oh,
Alright.
oh my god.
He's
Yeah,
a baby. He's a baby.
I
15 when we started.
This child has just been following us around.
holy crap! And that changes
here's
a
your
lot of
mother.
things.
Why didn't
suppose
we
it's
allow
only a
him to
handful of
make any
years,
of
but-
our choices?
I mean, I think wasn't Blarth like 18 when the game started?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's at least an adult logistically.
Yeah, I'm 20 now, so
God
like.
damn, we were
that's
just
enough.
babysitting here.
No.
I
The
mean,
whole
they're
time.
humans. It all kind of feels like the
I
same.
mean, that's what
at
all
the end of
elven
the day.
PCs are doing. They're just babysitting the other people in the party.
Just
I mean,
It's
another-
like,
Especially
it's
the
like having a
elves.
turtle versus having a cockatoo. Like they're both gonna live like a certain duration, but like Sometimes they're hamsters. Like,
I would say turtles and cockatoos end up living a really fucking long time.
yeah, some humans live a really long fucking time. Some humans have
like-
4
are like
hit points
rats,
starting
and,
off and
18
stick their head
months
into the
later.
hole and almost die to the things jumping on them on the inside. You know, that kind of thing.
Stupid badgers.
We're trying to figure out if you're a cockatoo or a gerbil.
I feel like he's established himself as at least like a small bird. Maybe not quite a cockatoo yet, but like he's getting there. I mean, maybe he's like a finch.
More about the years lived as opposed to like strength.
I don't know, like in terms of like gumption, because you change bird stages as you become more gumption, and thus can live longer.
Is that how birds work?
That's exactly how birds work.
Don't think
I
that's
thought elves were into nature. Come on, man, dude. Like you just don't get it.
Right,
Birds-
I don't. Where's the drugs he's on? Because I would like some of this. I want to be in whatever reality he's currently in right now, because
Oh.
this one seems way more entertaining.
Dude, you want to try some? Come over here. I got the good shit.
My man went to the forest for a half hour. He's perfect right out of his mind. It's insane.
Fucking gone.
Permapride. This is your brain. This is your brain.
After half an hour in the woods.
After a half hour in the woods, when your brother Linus.
He's just a bowl full of jelly now. He just.
Well, it had to happen. We're in session 48, you know.
Mm.
Yep. Yep.
So when
Think about
the
it.
campaign's having its midlife crisis.
Yep.
So,
Right.
you guys have had supplies. If any last minute things, throw on your sheets, spend the money, and go forth.
Right.
Otherwise, it's ocean going voyage time. Because I'm
Hold on.
assuming, what do you guys want to have told people about what's there at the island? You want to like make sure maps get disseminated showing where the port that you've assembled is?
That's the question that we got off onto a tangent on. The question is, do we want to sell the information now, or do we want to wait and sell the information once we have more of an established trade route ourselves? Because it doesn't sound like we can like get any money out of the monopolies. Because like that would be nice. We could just take like 10% off of whatever they make. We give them the maps on how to get there. Cool. But if that's not the case, then it comes down to how much of a foothold do we want to have already before we start inviting other people over.
Yeah, because Gabe, the 10% thing is basically, from their point of view, is what you're saying is we own the island, we're the legitimate government, and we're charging you a 10% excise tax.
I mean, for all intent and purpose, we have our legal person now. We could do that.
You
Do
don't
we
own
need-
that land.
If we have the dock on the other island, can we charge tax there?
Yeah, I mean, you can try to, and then hope somebody doesn't land like 2 miles away and build another, dock facility. If there's a lot of money to be made.
I mean, so they can build a dock facility in the island and then go die. That's totally fine. We've got the civilized section.
I mean, they might also land in the civilized section, and civilize some villages.
Big
But they
words.
didn't. We got to spend time with them. They didn't spend time with them yet.
Yeah, they don't know them like you do. That's why they're going to be okay with civilizing them.
Exactly. They will be civilized or they will suffer. I mean, what? Um,
Oh,
Fucking yikes. I am now against the plan.
I'm actually reading some of the notes from the home game. I'm reading a bunch of like things we did actually build in for the farm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Palisade,
built-
guard for 3 side, a couple barracks, a
Yeah.
Yeah,
forge.
yeah. Yeah,
We're
it's
gonna
building
go
into a small community.
Yeah.
Like, you guys also bought land and then invited 3 different families to start,
That's right. Yeah, okay.
including raising chickens and doing crop rotation stuff on the side leading towards Loon, away from where the vampire's at, and then the farms turning into like the fort bordering towards where the vampire is. Like,
Instructed them to be
yeah.
cool.
yeah.
Um,
Build a casual fort, casually.
and I don't know if that's as far as our loot sheet is updated, but I rolled a bunch of potions last time.
you
16
did not put
seems
them on
like
there.
so. We could add another 11 healing potions and 3 poison healing.
Oh hell yeah! All right. Go ahead and update.
With that, we should all probably be holding a good amount. I have only 2 on my character sheet right now, but I imagine we can definitely hold a few.
Yeah, I would recommend spreading them out pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gabe doesn't need to have a whole lot because he can do some healing on his own. And keeping it on other people means that if something happens to Gabe, people can feed him potions.
Yeah. I mean, I try and keep a couple of healing spells going, not a ton, because we got the healing potions out the ass, and I've got a couple of healing scrolls.
Got it.
2 of them left. So, yeah, I think honestly we could just divide them up evenly, unless we want to like store them somewhere, because 27 is a lot of potions. But we have what, 5 people now? 5 each,
What,
say?
does little less not mean anything to you, Gabe?
Well,
I
we've
said
established
5
that
people,
a
Andy.
while ago.
Hey, no, he's now a hippie. He's got a level less now. Yeah, sorry, dude.
Dude, like,
All
I still have
creatures on the
trauma.
planet.
I still have
He's
trauma
trying
that
to
I'm
be the
working
shepherd.
through.
He's
I have-
trying to be the shepherd.
I have trauma that I'm working through, man, but like, I appreciate where they're coming from, because like, the man's just been keeping them down. I totally get it. Like, rah fight the power, and they're doing their best.
Alright.
But like, damn, he keeps eating my socks, and he just won't stop.
I'm thinking 4 piece, and I'm gonna take a potion of poison healing as well, or whatever the hell it's called.
Alright.
4 piece
Cool.
that's able to spread, get to everybody. Actually, wait. With our 2, okay, no, that's 6. Yeah, okay, perfect. Yeah, it's 24 of them taken up, basically.
And we got a couple more sitting in storage in case we need to pass them out for some reason. Cool.
Alright. So, I guess that would go down to 3 in the inventory. And
All right. So yeah, like there was a little bit of freaking out when you guys loaded a dragon on the vessel.
You did fucking what?
What?
Boat a la Baxter.
The dragon had to be coaxed on at first. He's a little uncertain about it, but white dragons fortunately do enjoy seafood, so they're not horrible with this.
Awesome.
Also, he's not he's big, but he's definitely not as large as some other dragons are. So he can fit up curled up like on the front third of the boat. So people can get around him and get to the bow, but like he's just in front of the mast. And
I'll
he'll
hang out
hang
with
out on deck.
Yeah, I'll chill at Baxter.
Because worst comes to worst, you can always take flight and then like land in the water and then swim and crawl up on the boat. It gets everyone who's up on deck fucking drenched in water when he does that, but
He thinks it's funny.
They're used to water.
he thinks it's funny.
He's a silly.
He's
Alright.
a silly little guy.
I'm gonna move the healing potions over to the magic items.
Yeah, go for that. If anybody wants to take one of the 2 remaining poison healing potions, I'd say take them.
When you say poison healing, do you mean the potions of poison?
Potions
Which
of
are
poison.
just-
That's right. They're not healing. They're just potions
Yeah, they're-
of poison. Okay.
They're in fact for poisoning things.
Perfect. That's fine. I'll
I
still
would
take
leave
one
them
of
all
those.
together because that's kind of the thing where it's like, oh yeah, like we don't want to deal with these giants, so we're gonna poison their food supply before we attack them. So they're gonna have a big feast, poison themselves, and then we attack.
No.
Okay.
Shuffle them in with your healing potion, so it's like a Russian roulette.
Hell yeah.
Who knows what's gonna happen?
Fun for the whole family.
Chug them both at once. It's like a Four Loko.
Okay. Hold on. You have that many potions. Can we say that doesn't even take an action? You just randomly reach into your pouch as you're rushing the enemy and chug a random potion, and it could be the poison.
Dude, we have a lot of potions.
That'd be fantastic. I'm just thinking game-wise, that'd be hilarious. Like, no, you can drink a potion as fast as possible, but you don't know what it is. You have 3 shitty ones in there.
Didn't Scanlan do that in Vox Machina?
Yep.
He had 3 potions. You didn't know what they did. One of them turned him into a dinosaur. One of them made him small. Like,
Small dinosaur.
let's see what this one does.
So we had 11 extra healing potions in our magic pile. We have a lot of fucking
Oh
healing
my
potions.
god. Okay. Jesus.
Dude. Oh man.
I mean, you guys don't use that many of them, and you've been
No.
acquiring them and making some along the way.
And now I can make it without flaw, I believe.
Yep. Oh right. Who has Ingectus? Our +1 sentient long or short
Oh
sword.
my god.
The one that wants to
Mine
the
or
mining. Yeah.
yeah. He has locate metal and levitate 3 times a day.
Yep.
And
Well,
he
we're
can
not-
send emotions.
It's
When we
a
need to mine, we'll use them.
but
It's probably on Blarth, because he's actually the one who's best at short swords.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then he probably leaves it like bundled up in leathers, so he doesn't have to listen to it.
Magic buckler. I don't have it here.
All right. Well, mark it on your character sheet. I'll mark it over here.
Oh. Shovel iron, plate mail, combat riding saddle. All right, what's it called exactly?
Ingectus. Ingectus. And
Check this cursed.
it's not cursed. He's just a smart sword.
Oh, smart.
He's intelligent.
Yeah, let's be clear what we're actually
Want
talking
you
about.
to mine
It's a it's
Prosperity.
a soul item. Somebody killed something and rammed their soul into this when they made it in order to make an intelligent item.
Here's his stats.
We'll just
It's almost sad.
fucking grab that whole thing.
That's the easiest way to make an intelligent item. All right.
He's-
So to give you guys a good idea of scale, here's the. I'm going to share a link to a good map where you can see right in the center of the map is the. This is in Italian, but it's still good enough. The Grand Duchy of Kermakos. The Italians love this version of D&D.
Apparently, so do the Japanese.
So you can see Kermakos and Specularum right up kind of in the center of the map, just north of the Irindi and Minthrad. And then if you scroll down, you guys can see that outline of that island, the archipelago of Thangioth, down across the Sea of Dread, and the one big island that you guys are familiar with.
The Granduccio
di Ochalia. Grandicio?
Granduccio. Granducatio? Granducatio.
It's the Grand Duchy of Kermakos in Italian. By the way, Black Eagle Barony, the Fort Doom, is Forte Destino.
Awesome.
In Italians, man. All right.
I mean,
cool.
I love this map, except it's in Italian.
Except it's in Italian, exactly.
But it shows you the good scale. Each
Yeah.
of these hexes is 24 miles.
36 kilometers.
Just to
Alright.
give you an idea of how far it goes. And in good weather, you guys make like 2 to 3 in a day. In bad weather, you might not make any progress. So on average, you guys make about not quite 2 in a day. Basically, it's every every 2 days. You guys have definitely will have made 3 hex progress. So
We got forge, farms, chickens. Yearling, trees. grapes. Apples, barley, and hemp. We got quite the orchard going on.
Yeah. And then you guys, that's the current player explored map for the Big Island.
LNG.
Just to refamiliarize you guys with it.
Dots.
A lot we haven't seen, and
Yeah.
I fear a bit.
Yeah, I mean, you guys did a really great job of going around and visiting the small islands and then a few places going inland, but for the most part, the interior is still pretty much hidden from you guys. You guys have a really great idea of what's along the coast, though, having literally encircled the island and in a few places gone over it more than once or twice.
Yep. We know where the shallow reefs are for the good fishing. We know where the volcanoes are, and there's some dragons that are living in the area.
Yeah,
Nice.
you guys had seen a draconic form in the distance flying around in the north somewhere. And I think you had you had heard word from the villagers that there's dragons to the islands off this map, but just off of it, going out towards the east.
That's right. I also
And that-
see we have portals to the four nations: air, earth, fire, and water.
Yeah, those were you guys had you discovered that one. You talked to that one druid on that one island that is kind of, if you look down where all the civilized area is in the bottom, there's that one sort of weird little island right in the middle of that bay
Mm-hmm.
with the yellow dot on it.
Mm-hmm.
You talked to the druid on that island because you made camp there one night and stayed over. And he has been spending time trying to figure out the connection between these portals to the elemental planes, and he actually put them on your map, showing where he was pretty sure portals to these elemental planes existed.
That's right.
That's a mystery that you guys you're aware of the beginning of, but you haven't followed up on. The other one is, you guys know there's some sort of like city of the ancestors somewhere in the middle that you've been told by the villagers. And you guys are also just trying to like seek a great source of wealth. You're pretty sure you can do some trading for some decent wealth long term. But like if there is an actual city of the ancients, like maybe there is hidden treasures from long ago before these people like had a problem or lost control of like whatever was controlling this whole area. Like a bunch of people must have died or something, because they talked about how they used to live out across the whole island and had a whole large city in the center. You guys had even explored in a few bays and like gone inland on a few treks, like that one place where you went up and found the troglodytes in the northern bay. You explored around some of the other bays. You dealt with some pirates on some of the side islands, and you found that one island that had the hippogriffs.
There's also the potion making person.
Yes.
That was the druid, right?
Yeah, we.
Or
No.
witch? That's a
No,
witch.
there was the witch. She lived outside of town, just south along the coast
Yeah.
from the port city.
That's right.
You taught me a lot.
And then we found out there was stuff under the water too. We just never went down there.
Yeah, well, you guys have at least driven by pretty much all the reefs, so you don't know their full true extent, but you have reasonable ideas. Like the ones shown on the map are the true extent, but you guys, if you look carefully, you can see all the little orange dots near the reefs. You guys know at least the area where the reefs are, and you overnighted on one up in the north and in the south, so you have reasonable ideas of the reef. Now, when you were overnighting up in the one in the north, you guys had gotten these queasy feelings, like you guys kind of felt like you were being watched out in the middle of the water, and shore was not visible at that point, because that was like 20 miles from shore, and you guys felt like you were being watched the whole time it was overnight, so it was very unnerving.
We also fought Wyvern, right? It was 2 of them.
Yes. That was that smaller island that was super mountainy. The island with the
Right.
hippogriffs is just south of that. It's the larger island that's very hilly,
All right.
where the hippogriffs live.
Let's go capture us some hippogriffs.
Hey, if you guys want it.
So, was the plan to go straight to try to look into the hippogriffs, or head back to the port, check in, decide what you guys want to do? Either think about setting up how to capture hippogriffs, because that might take some doing, but you guys could maybe get some young.
A little bit.
Or do you guys want to continue? Because last time you guys had done a press into the island's interior, you had made friends with some Rakasta tribe. They had sought an ancient tomb. You guys had helped them delve into the tomb and find out that the ancient warlord that they were talking about, like, oh yeah, he was some hero over people. Turned out he wasn't. He was an actual asshole warlord who like worshipped the forces of darkness. And you guys helped him bury that tomb up. And they're like, yep, let's not talk about that place ever again. Thank you for helping us.
Yeah. Didn't we nuke like a bunch of goblins? Was it undead? I can't remember what it was.
It was
There
undead.
a lot.
There was a lot of
undead.
undead.
Yeah, you guys nuked it.
And then the other one is after that, you guys met up with those intelligent talking spiders, as well as some of the Phanatons.
Fucking
You guys
smart.
met the squirrel people, not the squirrel people, but the
Yeah,
like,
there were squirrels. Pete.
they're
Like,
more like lemurs with like stretched skin between their arms and legs, so they can glide between trees. They hate the spiders. The spiders think they're delicious. You met the spiders. The spiders spoke a form of the native, but you had a native guide with you, so you were able to, over the course of a few days, because the spiders are really fucking smart, teach the spiders Theation, and then they learned it, and then you're like, wow, you guys don't even have an accent.
the fuck?
So you had made contact with 3 non-human races in the interior.
Who they were Costa, the intelligent spider, and the lemur people.
Yep, the Phanatons, and then the arena.
The topless natives and the tar pits.
Oh, right.
Yeah, the tar pit, because that was a potential like good that you guys would be able to sell.
So,
You guys had thought about like, hey, could we get closer in? But like, you're like, oh, honestly, like where our port is fairly safe, and if we can just build some roads through the jungle and maybe some way stations to protect it, we could get that really good tar in and out. Because it'd make it great for ship caulking. So for doing ship repairs, it would definitely make it way easier to use even relatively subpar wood to repair things, as long as there's really good tar caulking.
so did we?
Let's check in on our dock to start and see what's going on there and see what we can do.
Well, how far out of the way is the Hippogriff Island?
So if you look over, it's on the western side, on the south. It's the largest island that's mostly hills. It's the larger one of those small islands.
Okay.
Not the one with the volcano, but you see it's like the northernmost one down in the
Yeah.
south there. That's not the mountainous one, but the actual hilly one.
Looks like the bottom part of like South America with a big
I
blob.
think that. Let me double check it. Like I knew it was one of those islands over there. Let me double check exactly which one.
Yeah, that's like a day sailing, if that. Yeah, let's stop off and chill out for a minute. I'm high. I may have missed it. Did we decide if we wanted to sell the knowledge or keep it for ourselves and wait?
I don't remember, but it sounds like something we would sell because that's what we do.
Well, it just doesn't seem like.
If you're selling the
Yeah,
location, it
why?
means that if you guys can control the port, you guys will get the money from the trade. It won't be a straight percentage or anything, but it'll just be like, no, you guys can be a factor that like you have to trade with our warehouses here. So the price doesn't get set by you, so you guys will eat the percentage through setting the rate, like the trading rates.
Rather than setting up our own trade.
Yeah.
Team.
Still-
So
still
like you
low
guys,
income.
the talk would have been, did you guys want to bring along like an extra like 24 like people to work down there who are willing
Yeah.
to on yeah. So I think you guys had offered that up like two or three sessions ago and talked about doing something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with you guys having hired over a couple of weeks like 24 able-bodied folk, mostly men, a few women, probably not too many non-humans, maybe an elf or two, but that'd be about it. Willing to come down here.
We definitely hired at least 9 carpenters and a smith to come down here.
Yeah, that's right. So, and then another like dozen maybe general laborers or
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys could fit about that many people on the boat without too much trouble.
Okay.
Because you
If
guys
we're-
actually weren't bringing that much cargo by weight.
Yeah.
You guys were
Just
bringing along a fair number of like metal tools, but it was mostly the ends because they can put the wood on it down there. You don't have to ship
Yeah.
it as the completed item. You just get the metal ends for the tools, spearheads,
We got like 1,000 of each, right?
hatchets. Yeah, like I think you guys were gonna bring basically like some hatchet heads, spearheads, and nails or something like that.
Nails, just metal tools in general.
Yeah.
Pliers, scissors, prongs, you know, shit like that. I mean, I suppose if we do have a team down there and we are controlling the warehouses, then telling the world about how to get down here and selling some maps probably wouldn't be the worst idea.
We put up flyers in the other city.
Yeah. Well, if we sell the maps to all of the merchant guilds, like we can make a little bit of extra money on this.
Yeah, I mean not a terribly large amount because honestly maps are maps unless you've been there. You don't know if you can trust it. But you guys could have probably profited a net total of like 50 gold per map, and I'd say you can roll 2d6 plus the charisma modifier of whoever would have gone selling to see how many maps you would have sold.
Ooh, we have the new
Avino.
face. Yep.
And so the 50 gold is just the profit point. Like, it actually costs you guys money to make it, but like you'd end up getting some back. So it ends up being about right. So if you want to make that roll,
12. Hot shit. Lavino made us some money.
well,
Already
you did.
paying for herself.
Yeah, 600 gold. So you guys have distributed it out. There's 12 maps out there. That means that it's probably then been copied by people. So like at least 24 either merchanting companies or independent ship owners now are aware of that port and have a rough map to it. Because people knew there was an island archipelago down there, but not everyone knew what the shape of the islands were. With your guys' charts, they can get to the southern part of the island and get to that port because they'll know how to read the charts of the island.
Cool.
And they'll even, because you guys marked where the reefs are, so they even know where the fucking reefs are.
You know what we could do? Not mark the reefs and then just have a graveyard, shipyard of valuables that we can then go loot. But that's too much effort.
All right, doing a little too much for the dragon. It's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the
Well,
guy
I
sets
guess,
off.
Blarth, how many people you want to kill to get our gold?
I mean,
Real
he's-
question.
Depends what you mean by people.
I mean, these trade folk are not people to me.
'Cause I feel
Look,
like
all I'm
we're
saying is
talking
the two
spiders. I'd
humans
be
in the
okay with.
apparently have real strong
Whoa.
opinions on what constitutes people.
Dude, those spiders smart fuck. I know.
No. That's a walking snack. See, they come to us and we eat them. Yeah.
But spiders are gonna take over the world someday if we keep one check. Just saying.
That's what it sounds like.
They're not even from this planet.
Not even from this planet.
Never looked at a spider and be like, "Yeah, you belong here." Someone put you here. The bugs were getting out of hand. And they're like, "This needs to go there." But okay. We'll check in at the dock. At the flyers out now. I guess we'll see. It's gonna take a while. You said before. It's gonna really start picking up. But I suppose I don't know what we have at our dock that would help us prepare to go to the hippogriffs. But it sounds like you guys want some flying mounts.
We bought a bunch of like hippogriff capturing and training equipment as well, I believe.
Did we?
Yeah, because I mean that was part of the purpose of coming back down here. Is like, wait, you've got a dragon. We need something flying that can keep up with you. Let's go get some hippogriffs.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Let's go get some hippogriffs for you guys. Do we know anyone? Did we bring anyone who's an expert in this kind of thing? Because I feel like
Yeah, is there a hippogriff trainer we could hire to come along with us?
Hippogriff trainers are not going to want to just come along on a random trip where you're saying like there is some like, well then you should bring them here because this is where I live and I can train them.
Okay, do we have a
What
hypocrite
about if we give them
trapper?
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
what if-
right now, what it is
what
all
if
it
we
is your
give
guys'
them?
word that there's hippogriffs, rather than like you having brought back a hippogriff, and then all of a sudden people are like, oh, there are hippogriffs, and it wasn't just them saying. there's
Oh,
hippogriffs.
so we need at least one to prove, and then okay.
Yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense.
Fuck you.
I mean, what if we just want to pay him to come with us on an adventure that may or may not contain hippogriffs?
I mean, a lot of the
Could
issue
we
is a lot
just-
of the hippogriff trainers, they have steady work from the crown.
But we have
Um,
more money.
Then
we
the
don't.
crown?
No, we don't.
Well, what are they currently getting paid?
I mean, they get paid, but they also get to work with the hippogriffs, which is what they like doing, rather than being on boats.
Fair.
Because not everyone handles being on a ocean-going sea vessel that well. Also, the fact that it's not a double-digit percentage, but like 2 to 3% of ships just don't come back to port.
Yeah,
We're not just doing this for money.
we're doing it for money and adventure.
Hippogriffs. All right. Well, I guess we're gonna have to figure this one out ourselves. Can they give us any tips?
Yeah, I mean, if you can get some of the eggs and hatch them, and then get them back up here for training before they're too old, like that's half the battle right there. And if you can
Gotta
capture
get
some
the
adults where they're at
eggs.
and like begin that process down there, then that's also fine. I think didn't Asiago have some animal handling stuff? Random?
Blarth has animal handling. Asiago has animal handling, I think. And
Yeah, so you guys aren't
I
experts at it, but you guys
don't.
can definitely.
you don't? I thought you got animal handling.
I have
No.
animal training horse, so we kind of applied that to the early
Yeah, which
stages.
weirdly, hippogriff
Okay.
is closer to horse than the dragon is, so
Oh,
that's a
fair.
better overlap.
Bam.
Blarth or Linus also has animal handling.
I did not have animal handling, but I did get the dragon to submit during that fight, or when it died, and it decided that was how it worked.
That was
Yeah.
enough. Okay. I thought you'd
Also-
picked it up.
Funny little curveball. If
I need dragon handling.
If
You know, I have a
Asi-
-4 on my rolls with it, so
if
That's fair.
Asiago is able to potentially gain another level, I believe that's when we gain access to those 4th level spells. And the only 4th level spell I have is Charm Monster.
That is a useful spell.
now was that work on a hippogriff?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
How is that? I would
I hope
imagine.
so.
Because I already have the other charm spell too. So if it's not the other one, then that one. Charm person is level 1 actually.
You specifically need Charm Hippogriff. No.
It's hippogriffs and dogs specifically.
You spelled Huppogriff. I'm sorry, we were looking for Hippogriff. No points
I
will be
want a
awarded.
Puffogriff. Fuck that.
Wow.
Rather.
Oh.
All right. So, okay.
So we're going for the hippogriff.
We're
We
going.
need
We're
a-
going Griffin.
That we could sneak and get an egg
So,
or
yeah.
two.
Eggs or some convincing with some adults.
A case of 12, at the market. Check
Good
if they're
big-
correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Get a dozen or two. All right. Linus will shift over to his animal controlling spells, and we can do this dirty.
Do we run into any trouble on the waters on the way there?
So, I am just figuring out how long it's going to take you guys to get there.
Eleanor, I know you recently have acquired some spells that I might not have. I'm
Yeah, Brother Linus was like, get all of the spells, every single
spell.
one of them.
So that's what you did.
Yeah. I don't know if I have them written on my current sheet though.
Is on like the physical.
Yeah, which I don't know where that is off the top of my head at this
So
exact.
it takes you guys a little over a month, like 38 days to get there.
Okay.
You end up going through 3 storms, 2 of them pretty mild. One of them is pretty hellacious. Your white dragon ended up falling overboard and having to like drag itself up on.
Sure, no.
Baxter.
He's just learning to swim. He's excited. He saw some fish. He's like, food.
During the voyage, out in the middle of the Sea of Dread, your ship actually sighted what looks like to be a small island, which gets marked on the charts. It doesn't look like it's a tall island. It literally just looks like maybe it's one of those freaking islands that's like an atoll island, so it's really flat but like kind of broad, and you don't want to get too close because you have no idea where the reefs are.
Fair. Linus, can Linus turn into dolphins and sharks and shit if he sees them?
You would have to kind of readjust yourself because the kind of animals you can turn into are land-based forest animals.
Yeah, but can't I like pick up other animals as well along the way?
Yes, but you'd have to equate yourself with the locals, and like by locals I mean like spend a couple of years becoming an aquatic druid and like learning how to turn into a porpoise or a sea snake or that kind of stuff.
Oh, I thought it was because like you start off with just the forest ones, and then you can learn all the others if you encounter them. Okay.
It's you have to attune yourself and like be in tune with that. Whereas right now you're in tune with like the lands of Karamakos, which those animals you can turn into will work on the island. There's no problem with that. It's just you'd have to spend some time to turn yourself into dinosaurs.
Okay.
But
You can learn it though. You can learn it.
Definitely gonna spend that time.
I think if you want to take care of our dog and learn that at the same time.
I mean, next time we like level up, I need to go back and like skill up. Probably end up doing that. Just I'll spend like the 6 months that it takes you guys to go out.
What dinosaurs can he become? Be a T-Rex.
Saber-tooth tiger, Tyrannosaurus.
They have a T-Rex.
I mean, I think a T-Rex is a little big for what he can turn into.
I figured, but I had to ask.
Soon, eventually, I can do the bigger
He
stuff.
could turn into like a Daikinesis, which is from the. That's what they call the Velociraptor in the in Jurassic Park.
A Mike and Ike's. Got it.
Chicken.
Oh, why can't I?
I think even an Allosaurus is a little too large. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of dinosaurs. You learn how to become them. Yeah.
All
right. So one bad storm, you guys managed to get through it though. The ship is not lost, which is good.
Hooray!
Hooray! I don't know how seasick people get, but turns out your acolyte gets a little seasick, so she did not have a fun month and 8 days.
I know.
no.
I know a trick for not getting seasick that I can teach to you all.
Is it
Don't be on a
Dramamine?
boat.
It's move around. If it's a big enough boat to move around, move around. Don't sit still. This is for reals.
I've only ever gotten seasick once, and that's because I ate a huge fucking meal before we went. It's like,
Yeah,
oh,
have
no.
a bunch of spaghetti and then just sit there and
Mhm.
not move while it shakes your. Yeah, you're gonna fucking hurl.
Yeah, so after that time period, you guys end up at the island. And the natives are very happy to see you because it's been like 3-4 months now. No, more than that, like 5-6 months.
5-6 months, yeah.
Yeah. Now late summer, almost autumn. And your dock facility is there. They tell you that 2 boats came while you were out. One boat came in because it looks like it had been trying to shelter from like some storm damage and was like looking for repairs. And then when they realized they were in a bay and they saw a dock and they came over and they realized there were some people here because you guys had left like I think 4 sailors who basically didn't have family back home and like were fine with basically like living out here and sleeping with the locals and eating fucking coconuts and fucking hanging out on the beach all day. And all they had to do was a couple times a week to maintain the fucking port facility.
Yep.
They ended up having to put in some work. And the first people had their ship repaired, and then they must have mentioned it somewhere else because another person came in. They're both Minthrod Guild ships. One of them was because their route usually would have swung wide around the entire archipelago. They're going for the continent of Devania, which is another freaking probably I think like 500 or something miles further south across the sea. There's the continent of Devania. There's the kingdom that they trades with a lot of the spices. So a lot of the spice trade that the Minthrod Guild controls comes from those trade routes, but they follow real particular trade routes, following wind patterns going at certain times, and this storm just knocked them off course. They roughly know that there's an archipelago here. They just avoid it because they don't want to get caught in the shoals, because if you go through the wrong passage here, you'll end up scraping the whole body of your boat down and sinking.
Yep.
So they were very pleased that there's an actual, like, way station in the middle of the Sea of Dread. And apparently they must have told somebody else, who then showed up and did some mild trading. Mostly, like, picking up fresh water and food in exchange for some metal trinkets and a few things like that. And then also bought some lumber, so, like, having spare repair wood on board as they then set off on their voyage. So yeah,
Okay.
it is a decent spot. It's maybe not the best island, but it is an island with friendly natives. That little isthmus that you guys are on is the friendly native section with an actual decent amount of supplies, and specifically with the Tark hawking, because you guys had left some of it there, meant that they were actually able to do reasonable spot repairs on their boats.
Good.
Yeah.
Spread the word a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. They had actually informed, because apparently sometimes people land on some of the other islands because sometimes you just fucking have to. So a bit more of the rumors of the other areas have now reached even your guys, who will then relay like things like there's apparently there's the island both to the west of here, the big one, and one of the islands to the east that's decent sized. Also has people, but that live more across the island rather than just being in a little, like, carved off section. But they're more, like, they fight wars against little city-states on the island. So they're more warlike people who battled each other and, like, are not friendly towards outsiders. But they also mentioned that one of the islands to the east is an island that is a dragon breeding ground, and that there's a bunch of, apparently, dragons that now circle, like, the smaller islands eating fish that are looking to build their own, like, living areas.
Oh
Did you
shit.
say what color the dragons were? Red?
No, they did not, because it's not like people get up close. So if you see a dragon flying off in the distance and you're hazy near the horizon, you don't necessarily know what color it is, but you know it's a fucking dragon.
And
That's
you know,
fair.
Not gonna go
That's
there.
fair. I mean, they might have gotten lucky seeing one of them breathing, like, lightning or fire.
Dragon. Let's go see what color it is.
Yeah. Woo! Get your color wheel out. Let's go.
I mean, based on volcanoes in the area, people probably assume that there's some reds. There's probably greens because of the jungles. People will even talk about yellow dragons, but you don't know what they mean. You think they're either talking about gold, or you've heard tell that there's some more exotic gemstone ones that maybe in the Sierra can look yellowish.
That'd be cool.
So you don't know if is it like, are there gold dragons living down here? Do they mean that there's gemstone dragons, or what they mean by that?
Okay.
Yeah. There might even be black dragons, but those black dragons might be hiding themselves better in the swampy areas. Because you guys discovered already a decent number of, like, mangrove swampy areas around the island, the main island here.
Yeah.
So
There's
looking at
probably
your guys' map, you guys had some plans. So it was things like look into capturing hippogriffs, expand your port facility, and now you brought the men, so you can start doing that trade with the village that you have here. The villagers are definitely overjoyed to see that you brought more trade material. They're willing to trade access to food and water as long-term, as well as pearls, which is, I believe, kind of the agreement that you had, along with maybe guaranteed access to porters to travel up to the when you guys leave the wall anyway, but access to porters who will then carry the tar, I believe, is what you had agreed
Yeah.
upon before you left. So if you guys want to change your mind on any of that, now's time to speak up. Or if there's any part of the map where you're like, hey, I kind of want to go there, or hey, let's rethink the Rakasta, or let's go make friends with the spiders, or hey, let's go find out what the middle of the island is, like now's the time to speak up.
It
Well,
is
let's-
so tempting to explore, but well, we had a
Let's get
plan.
the hippogriffs first,
Yeah.
and then we can like
Agreed.
once
You guys don't want to go fight dinosaurs?
I do, but
There's a part for sure, but I
Lizard
think,
men riding dinosaurs fighting you?
sounds amazing. And you know, we can have like multiple mounts.
Serpent people from the center of the earth in an ancient fallen city riding dinosaurs?
nope. Only Blair gets him out.
Mm.
Sorry, dude.
'Cause we're going Age
Ah!
of Conan here.
This fucking guy right here.
Yeah, so the people are kind of terrified of your dragon.
I'll teach them not to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your dragon's a little uncomfortable because it's a little too warm.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
that would make sense. Do we have like some shade or a little cave we can make?
Popsicles.
He wants to fly somewhere and make a cave, but I'm assuming you're gonna probably try to like divert him and be like, no, you have to do it here on this side of the wall.
Yeah.
Probably up on one of the hills that aren't terribly tall. We're talking like these hills are like 300 or 400 feet at their highest in the middle of the isthmus. So closer to the shore, they're probably only like 100 feet above sea level. But you can probably get nearby into one of the hills, have him dig in, get a cave going, get some basalt rock to act as like holders on the side, volcanic rock, and like have him use his breath weapon a couple times. But like as long as it's up inside, it's probably he can dig out an area that's like 60 something degrees year round because it's under the earth inside these islands. And then he breathes his breath weapon a few times, and he can make an area that will hold kind of a chilly temperature and get it below like 60 down into the 50s.
Okay, yeah. That sounds good.
So he'll start doing that because he really wants to have a place he can come to.
Yeah.
So for at least the next week or so, he's going to be digging that out and making himself at home. Do you guys want to spend some time getting to know people? Hand off of Venus so she can oversee the shrine because she'd love to like look at the shrine and start giving word. And then the folks you brought are going to need to start building like buildings and maybe like a watchtower.
Yeah.
Here on the coast. So you guys are building a second village very close to that main one. So you guys are, as I recall, you guys are only like 2 miles from the other village, maybe less.
From the shore to the village.
Because the village is right in this towards where the wall is, and then you
Right.
guys were off one side where the shore is. So you guys, it's not quite in line of sight, but it's literally like just a short path. You know, like it's a freaking
Yeah.
15-minute walk from your guys' dock to the middle of the village.
Okay.
So it's maybe 2 miles apart. Looking to maybe start making sure it's a better path, and then lay out some. Probably, I don't know how you guys want to do construction. The villagers mostly do huts that are raised off the ground, because it gets airflow beneath the huts, and it keeps a lot of the bugs out. And it keeps the wood from rotting quite as quick. You lay a bunch of stones around, and then you put logs on top of it, and then you get it raised so that air can flow underneath the house.
Sounds good.
That's what a lot of their huts are, because it can be miserable if you're trying to build on the ground. Like
Mhm.
the wood rots, insects come in. No good for anyone.
Linus will spend a couple of days during that week
Did you
flying
guys
out.
bring more chickens, by the way?
Yes, I think we did. No, we bought a shitload of chickens for the farm. If they would have asked for chickens or like any
Yeah.
animals, we could have absolutely brought those. I just didn't remember.
Chickens are just the easiest to keep alive on board the boat. You guys
Yeah.
would have been using them for some food along the way, plus their eggs, and you would have just been able to feed them like grain and chicken and like scraps from your guys' food.
Yeah, I mean, if the
Other
Yeah.
animals require like you guys would need a bigger boat to reliably take bigger livestock.
that's
I
fair.
need a bigger boat.
But if you guys wanted to have like bought like 24 chickens, a couple of roosters, and like not quite 2 dozen hens, you probably have a little over a dozen hens left alive, and maybe like 1 or 2 roosters, which is enough because there already were some chickens here on the island, but you guys are bringing in some new blood,
Yeah.
so it's you're expanding the gene pool.
Cool. Yeah. No, we could.
Because as
have
you guys
absolutely
recall,
done
the
that.
villagers, they hated chickens.
I
They loved the taste of chickens. They hated chickens
Yeah, chickens are dicks.
because they don't keep them in pens. They just let them run wild. And so, like when you want a chicken, you go catch it and eat it. So, like they don't rely on eggs, for instance, as a main source of food. They'll eat the eggs when they find them, but the chickens mostly roost in hidden places to keep their eggs from being found. But it's not like the chickens are. These chickens are. They were clearly domesticated in the past, and so they hang out around people because it's easy supply of food, and they're not that hard to catch. So these are not jungle fowl that are impossible to find in the jungle. These are just chickens that have taken to living outside again, and they roost up on trees because they don't want to get eaten by the things on the ground.
Like
We could-
dinosaurs.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Like if they kept them in pens in the ground, that's a great way for like lizards or snakes to get in and eat all the chickens
Mm.
who can't get away. But by letting the chickens run free, no one really owns the chickens. You're just like, yeah, we go catch a chicken. They're assholes. They peck at kids and shit, and they poop in places, and sometimes they dig up all your crops to try to dig. But like, they're delicious, but they're fucking assholes. So they hate the chickens. They love to eat the chickens.
So
We
we could
teach 'em
teach them, yeah, how to put them in pens.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
In fact,
how to build a coop.
didn't you? I think.
That was one of the things I thought we were gonna do with like the dues that we left behind. Was like in addition to building the dock, they were gonna build some chicken farms.
Yeah, because there were native chickens, so they were trying to do that. When you guys come back, they're like, yeah, when you pen up chickens in an area and try to do that, you'll find that like some of the local, like not even big lizards, the lizards that are like a foot long, will get in and eat the eggs or eat the chickens on the ground
Rude.
because
So-
it's at night. The at dusk or dawn, like the lizard will just come in and go for it, or some of the snakes, or the crocodiles.
Can't they like build them on stilts and then like, put a fence around it like we do in real life?
Yeah, but you're still keeping the chickens in a spot where you'll know the chickens are instead of letting them move from tree to tree, so that there isn't an easy way for the animals to know where the chickens are. Because if you're keeping them in one spot, they can just get there. This is still wild land. It's not like this is settled farmland. Within like 50 feet of you, there's probably a dozen things that can eat eggs.
Fair enough.
Because
Fair
they're just
enough.
like living in the trees or living in the bushes or in the water right now. Because the guys also say it's like it's easy to avoid the saltwater crocs. They're easy to see. The water's real clear here. They'll occasionally come by the docks, and it's like not a big deal. Just don't get in the water when you see a fucking crocodile.
Makes sense.
They're actually now that they've been here, they're no longer bothered by sharks. Sailors in the northern waters always have this super fear of sharks because sharks actually attack people more often up in the area where you guys are from. Down here, most of the sharks are more interested in catching smaller fish, and people don't really register for the sharks to come attack unless it's the big sharks out in the deep water. And here in the lagoon area, it's reef sharks and much smaller sharks, and so like sharks have now become a food supply. So the sailors who you guys left no longer have any fear of sharks
Cool.
Well,
because
good for
they've
them.
eaten too many of them. But saltwater crocs, yeah, they're like, yeah, don't. You only see a shark that you caught in a net be ripped in half so many times where you're like, yeah, I'm not gonna mess with saltwater crocs.
That's fair. That's
Fuck
fair.
you up, Pete.
Hmm.
Unless you're from Florida, in which case, well,
So you guys had built the dock had been basically a basalt stone quay, and then you guys had driven some logs into the sand, and then built some platforms out along it so that it would be at high tide the water laps just below it. At low tide it's potentially like 6 feet below,
far above.
4 feet below. I think the area where you're at, like I think the swing is like plus or minus 2 feet for most of the tides, and that's kind of what you guys were going for because that means you guys can get a ship, and it's either you're just picking things up and then dropping it on the dock, or you're lifting it up to the dock. So
Yep.
that's where you wanted to be on the dock. And one side of it was fairly shallow, and then the other side dropped off fairly steeply, but there was a stone rocky outcropping underwater going out where there's some reef stuff on it, so that larger ships could come up fairly close to the end of this. There's talk about extending it out, but that would require time and effort, which now you have the workers, so that can actually be done. So there's the possibility of making a longer dock and possibly building a breakwater off to
That would
further
be
out to
great.
the east, so that it'll keep the large waves from coming in. So you'll turn it into more of a legitimate lagoon rather than just this big broad bay that you have here. You'll make
Yeah.
a little mini lagoon around your
Fucking
port.
tourist location once we get that going. Let's do it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So you guys can put them to work doing that, and then you guys can go have like a feast with the village because you've brought new things and you brought weapons, and they will trade you. You basically just quadrupled your money that you spent on the tools in the terms of getting pearls.
Okay.
So if you want to do that, erase the metal that you and how much you spent on it, and then you get a quadruple return for the moment, because it'll work like that a couple of times until you guys have gotten enough pearls up in the area where pearls will no longer be as valuable.
Okay. I'm just gonna say 4,000 worth. I don't know how many actual pearls we have, but we have 4,000 worth of pearls.
Yeah. So you guys have some
Or,
pearls
sorry,
now.
8,000.
You come back.
We spent 2 grand on that. We have a
So
lot
with the
of pearls.
plan, then you're going to be using your ship with like a much smaller amount of crew. You're going to leave like the workers plus some of the crew here to expand the docks and get it up to snuff. Maybe build even a carved inlet so that it's easier to beach a ship on a high tide, so that it's easier to then work on boats off to one side from the dock.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that means you guys can actually we'll be able to do ship repairs in the future way easier. Then was the plan to go check out the island of hippogriffs and maybe try to make a landing and then see how hard it would be to capture some?
Yep.
Well, we're gonna spend a week when we initially land. So Linus is gonna spend a couple of days and fly out to go talk to the druid.
Okay.
Introduce himself as now a druid, and smoke the good stuff and hang out for a bit, and then also find out what he knows about these hippogriffs. If he's ever tried to like capture, befriend them, train them.
No, he just knows they're there.
This guy he's gonna come back after spending another weekend out there and be back on third shift. I know it.
Just every time he goes and beats a druid, it's just a freaking
Flip.
swat.
Light switch.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah, so this guy Pratis is his name. It's that teeny little like volcanic island
Yeah.
covered with really lush, thick jungle. He has a tree house covering 3 different close trees, with rope bridges between them. And his treehouse overlooks a small lagoon, with basically it's like a smorgasbord of fish and shellfish. Yeah.
That is. Alright, well, see if he has anything to teach me, anything interesting going on. Do the druid commune thing. Be like, hey man, I'm changed, and I think you were kind of cool last time I was here. So
changed.
I just want to chill and vibe and swap war stories. And
Yeah.
I'm
He's,
a new Padawan. You gotta show me the ways.
Oh god, it's a nerd. Oh no.
Where is that?
Man. Alright, here's the real question though. Now, is it going to be little less riding in the backpack on Eleonora, riding on the hippogriff? Or is
Trying to
little
find a
less
tiny
gonna
hippogriff.
have, or is little less gonna have his own?
Lilith is clearly riding in a baby seat.
We could totally find a pygmy hippogriff, little mini hippogriff, and give it to him.
Wee! It'd be great.
And a pygmy with dwarfism and just be like, yo.
Yeah, no, I can totally see that.
Is there anything cool to be gained from hanging out with this druid, or is he just be
Yeah,
like,
he
yeah,
would
man.
definitely.
I'll
be
learn the
trying to get you
rituals,
some.
man. What circle are you part of? Part of the 707 or the 409?
The 808.
The 808? Ah.
Yeah, it would be Hawaii. So.
I'm hoping. Yeah, so he's able to share some knowledge with you.
Cool.
Finger two.
So you see, like, this one time at Druid Camp,
Are you implying that you and this guy like got it on?
no, we're telling war stories, man.
Yeah. So he shares with you some like field work he's done. He shows you some drawings
Oh shit.
of the local dinosaurs because he's
Really?
been studying them.
He's a really good artist. Like, goddamn, son.
He's a druid chilling.
Tyrannosaurus Rex, powerful hind legs, serrated teeth, aggressive.
Let me just make this easier. One big image
Oh
for 4 of them.
shit. There we go.
Look at that. You should be the armor boy.
That's what I'm looking at.
The mace tail.
Yeah. Like, I can just run up and blap.
Yeah, so he shares with you some of the inhabitants in the area. Like he'll mention, like, yeah, I know the hippogriffs are there. Hippogriffs live elsewhere though, whereas there are not many places that have these mysterious lizard creatures that live here in this area.
You turn a Nessie.
I'm 100% gonna, like, come and just, like, chill on these islands and learn about these dragons and dinosaurs. Because,
Like he'll
this
tell you,
place-
like hippogriffs, they're very territorial. They're meat eaters. They love horse flesh. They lay eggs. At least the ones that he's encountered before have laid eggs. He doesn't discount that there might be some magical variety that like gives birth to live young, but for the ones he knows of have lay eggs.
Blowing themselves in vats, you know, whatever works.
I mean, he's like, wizards do things.
It's true.
Wizard's gonna wizard.
Wizard's gonna wizard.
So yeah, he gave you a full wide range of information on the local lizard creatures. He'll even mention that he knows of a island that moves over in that bay on the other side of the isthmus from you, but he's not quite sure what it is.
That's what the island is. Okay.
Yeah. He's also pretty sure avoid spending time in the water on the north east side of the island.
Is that the side we were on when we felt like we were being watched?
Yeah.
Why?
He
Why
says
does he?
there's some malevolent force in the water. He didn't want to stick around to find out what it was, but he definitely felt it and knows that something actively patrols up there, and it's from that reef that's up in that corner. He's spotted it from afar. It looks like there's strange buildings made from coral when he's overflown it in a seabird form.
Mm.
So
But
it
it's
just
not. They're
giant-
not
like
near
a
the
giant
surface.
building?
It's you can see it vaguely down deep in the depths, like strange fluted things that don't like the angles don't line up properly. It's like very odd and doesn't want anything to do with it.
Okay. Strange, non-Euclidean.
Fuck that noise.
Something evil, though. That's what he says.
Okay. I thank him much for his time. I will share with him some of the mainland weed that I have, and head back to town unless he's got anything else he can offer me.
I like to think that you guys gave him some seeds with it too. You can start.
Yeah, it's like, hey man, you know,
We come back and it's taking over because it just does hella well here.
the whole island is now just ganja factory.
Yeah, no, that was it. That was it.
Okay, cool. Well, I tell him I will be back. And,
So this is the main village that you guys made friends with,
Mhm.
Tanaroa. It's the one just south of the wall. The wall's literally actually right on the map. It's broken up into so part of their whole ancestor worship thing is that there's 4 main clans: Tiger Clan, Sea Turtle Clan, Elk Clan, and Hawk Clan. These animals, for the most part, don't live on this island, so you're pretty sure their ancestors came from somewhere else. But if you'll notice that each of the clans live in these raised huts around their graveyards, because you guys remember their ancestors watch over them and protect them, so they protect their ancestors.
Mm-hmm.
Because their ancestors will get up and do work for them. Now, these people also these people draw this weird distinction between necromancers and what they do. What they do is ancestor worship. Their ancestors getting up to help them. Necromancers violate it by stealing other people's ancestors and forcing them into slavery.
Kind of like child labor versus like when you're a kid working for your family's restaurant.
Kinda, and they definitely rationalize it that way. Although, and maybe in some cases it's true. Like maybe it is that, yeah, their ancestors are looking after them, and because these families watch over their dead family members. In death, they then watch over the next generation. That could totally be what's going on here. You guys, I believe, had some philosophical discussions with these folks before.
Yeah.
They definitely do not worship, they don't have the same theology that you guys do. It's less that they worship specific gods and more that no, it's ancestor worship. It's that we understand that the ancestors came before us. Their hard work and effort led to us being here and the things we have today, and we need to recognize and give them praise. But by the same token, when you join the ancestors, you also then, in order to help, the responsibility is not from children to their parents, it's from the elders to the young. You have children, so you're then responsible for them. And as responsibility, you make sure they do well in life. So even in death, you make sure your descendants do well in life.
Yeah.
Checked out.
Which is, it's a little backwards from what most of your guys' like hometown kind of theologies are. But like, it makes sense. And then you can see they have that huge stone-built wall, and then those tall towers with stone bases, and then the wooden thatched towers looking out across it, with a few huts as well. Those huts to the north are mostly what do you say? When you're on guard duty, you move to those while you're on the extended duty, so that you're no longer then you're not part of your clan while you're on assignment for the whole village, because even people from other villages will live in those. That's when you're living in that, it's your responsibilities for the whole people rather than your particular clan. So they draw that distinction of when you're on like guard duty, or when you're on construction duty, or when you're on like go collect the tar for the tar pits, because they actually, those tar pits you see, they're not very deep, but they've over the generations collected tar, so that if the dinosaurs or something do get over the wall, it's not easy for them to just bum rush into the village.
That's right.
Because even like a foot or two of that tar would be hellacious to try to walk through. And each of those, they call them tar pits, but what it actually is it's the tar on the bottom of these shallow pools of water. So that those pools of water during the day, they warm up, so that it keeps the tar in that oozy stage. So if you step into it, it's like stepping into a can of oil, an open container filled with like really thick old oil with like water on top. You're never gonna get clean, and you're not moving very fast.
Yeah.
Which makes it much easier for them if like a T-Rex comes through or something and ends up stomping through that. It just slows the thing down. It makes it just easier for the people to deal with it. Plus, they can throw fire on it. Yeah, and then that's and then you can see they have those like the orchards, like they call them gardens, but really what it is it's like just sequence of like yams or bananas and various food items grown in long stretches, and then the chickens just run throughout the whole thing. And then pigs live out in the hills to the south, so they go hunting for pigs. They'll sometimes capture pigs and keep them in like temporarily for like a season or so because they want pig later for a particular ceremony. They want to make sure they don't have to go hunting for it, but they don't keep pigs year round. They capture pigs a couple times a year, and then they, eat them on particular holidays because it's time to roast a big pig. Because they're not cannibals, so they don't do long pig. They do big roast with real pig. You guys actually had encountered. You guys met that one island. That was the cannibal island.
Yeah.
The Long Pig Island.
Yeah.
I remember that.
So you can actually, if you look at that village, it's actually really big. Each of those squares is 50 feet.
Holy.
That is very big. That's cool.
Yeah. This was the largest village on the island. And it's
badass.
Their cropland is literally in the middle of the village. That's why this place is so big. If all it was just them wanting to like have all their people, they could fit in the area right around where that like earthen mound pyramid is, right in the center.
Cool. What a badass little place.
Right?
Or not so little place.
Not so huge.
I think it has like 800 people, something like that. It's the largest village on the islands. The islands themselves only have I think 6,000 people total. This on the little isthmus here, and then they'll occasionally go out and travel to some other islands to get wives, and then some people will travel here and pick up wives, so that because 600 people would not be enough for inbreeding purposes. You'd eventually end up with everyone with the same last name. Yeah, it's a quasi-stable society here. Cool. You guys are changing things a bit quick because you've just dumped a shit ton of metal equipment on them that they would not have been able to acquire themselves here on this island. But you've definitely made their lives easier for the next decade with just the metal you've given now. And as more metal will come in, this society will definitely change. Yeah. So you guys get a feast in the island. Villagers are happy to see you. You guys get to meet back up with people. At first, they're terrified of the dragon, and then eventually, Blarth can probably calm everybody down and introduce his dragon to everyone, and then show it off. Okay. And maybe the druid wants to show off he can turn into things.
Things they haven't seen before.
What the fuck?
Do you want to be part of my comedy routine? But as an animal? We'll work something out.
The bolt to the front door just mechanically did its thing.
I don't like that.
Yeah, that was weird.
Oh, that's the axe murderer.
I went out front to grab my food, and as I was going to close the door, it was like, meh.
Did it lock itself or unlock itself?
So I had unlocked the door, and I had the door open. And I grabbed my food, and as I was going to close the door, it engaged the deadbolt.
Okay, so at least it's locking. I'd be a little more freaked out if it was unlocking.
Well,
but yeah, let's keep an eye on that.
It still engaged it. If it had been unlocked, it would probably done the opposite thing.
Oh.
That was weird. Also, the DoorDash person was still around, so maybe they had like something in their key fob that triggered it. I don't know.
Yep.
You should call them anyway and be like, hey, is there any way to disable this?
Yeah.
Like, since we don't have the code and we don't have any way to, like, strong lock it.
Yeah.
Knowing someone can unlock our door, walk in. Yeah, not great.
Oh, so all I have to do is get one of those little things that just starts scanning all the frequencies.
Time to get one of those chain locks.
Oh god, there was a video back in the day I remember watching where a dude discovered that like the default signal most garage door openers use is the same as like this Mattel toy from the 90s, and he just went online, bought one as it was his default, went around the neighborhood clicking it, and it was just opening people's garage doors.
Yeah.
Why you lock your door to the garage?
Yeah. I mean, you'll lose all the stuff in the garage, but like, you know, que sera.
Got Mattel toyed.
My Halloween decorations.
Can't imagine they'd steal those, to be honest, but
I'd be so mad.
that would be weird.
Yeah, people do things though. So,
Yeah.
you guys' plan is like after a week here where you've gotten settled in, you've gotten the work crews working on things, you're basically expanding the port facility and building a road, like laying out a road potentially from the village to the Verizon's port. That's going to be starting and underway. You guys wanted to take the boat then and circle around the island and head over to the hippogriffs?
Sounds good.
Okay.
I mean, hold on. Before we do that, do we want to just capture eggs, or do we have the gumption that we could capture some of the bigger ones as well? Because we don't have anyone to train them. We'd basically have to leave them with whoever is in the village while we go off and gallivant to the City of Gold. So it'll probably be better just to go for the eggs for the moment, but
Yeah. Seems like the safer option.
probably.
We were also told that if we bring back an egg, that we'd likely be able to gain assistance from those who can actually train.
Mhm.
I'll be right
Sure.
back. You need to use the restroom.
No, I think that's cool. eggs, because it will give us some time too. We don't immediately have hippogriffs that we have to take care of. Eggs that we take care of. A little bit more of a not as crazy
Right?
thing to take on right now.
Hey guys, so I know we just got here, but here's a couple of hippogriffs. Good luck. Bye.
Please.
We're over just fine.
That being
Well, we
said,
could
if I did happen to level up and was able to do Charm Monster, hell, maybe.
Maybe.
I got that animal training.
Yep. This is the thing that's kind of wild to me is Druid doesn't get anything like Charm Monster like at all. There's no animal influence spells aside from Charm Snake, which, you know, super useful. So, Charm Monster seems pretty useful in this case.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
All right, so eggs or try to capture young or capture adults? What was the plan?
Eggs.
Eggs.
All right.
Probably.
So if you guys scroll on up to your island map, which is above the dinosaurs.
I like that I just turned on Jay's stream for this.
I
I have another monitor, and he gives me 2 screens, so it's just effectively making like a 4 screen.
Oh yeah, no, there you go. Yeah. You guys are gonna set out from the side of the isthmus you're on. 1, 2. Six, and then drop anchor. First day. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because I assume you guys are traveling. Basically shortest distance around the isthmus.
Probably.
You're not going north around the island or anything like that.
No.
Yeah, no, definitely.
We've done that before. In fact, that's how we started.
Yep. How this whole madness started.
All right, so day 2. Yeah, get to go to a new hex. Evening day 3. Day 4. And your captain of your boat actually wants to, rather than going up into that big bay where the moving island is, he'd actually want to go and maybe try to skim the edge of that southern reef. He wants to find out how far it goes down. And that's a fairly straight line going across. He'd like to use this as an opportunity to actually improve your guys' charts.
He thinks he can do it safely, yeah.
Definitely.
Like,
Yeah.
how shallow is it here? Just boat right into the side of the thing.
Oops.
Yeah, you guys
not
actually
bad.
you overnight on the southern side of it, in an area where the water is only like 50 feet deep, and you can see the waves kind of cracking at the edge of the reef. Yeah, he's like, this reef is in places 4 or 5 miles across easily. This is a decent sized reef.
Damn.
And then the day after, he continues skirting the edges of this reef. He doesn't get too close. You guys are never at risk of running aground. You guys have good visibility. It's not storming. If it was storming, he would not be doing this. It's only because it's late summer and it's nice, clear weather with a consistent breeze blowing in a particular direction, that he can tack quite well in this whole area. You guys would be going faster if you were just doing breakaway speeds. It's that he's having to tack because he's trying to follow contours.
We're not really in a rush, so not a problem.
Yeah. And then he overnights then on the end of the reef. He's now, you guys have done, you overnighted on both ends, east-west of the reef, and then once on the south side, and you've gone and circled it. So he has a really good idea where this reef is. And as the reefs in the area are, he's like, yeah, this reef is easily like 30, maybe 40 miles long, and anywhere from a mile across to like 4 miles across in places.
That's
Like
a
this
big
huge
freaking
reef.
reef.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can see it on your map.
Yeah.
Is a 6 mile hex. The thing's huge. Then you guys are gonna cross past where?
Seems like a good place to start a village, actually.
The volcano?
No. Using the reefs and the coast side there.
Oh, the eagle's claw right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just you're You'd then be on the mainland of the Big Island, meaning that there would be dinosaurs.
Ah,
Party with the dinos.
pesky dinos.
But he also he knows you guys had briefly crossed over a reef just on the other side of the volcanic island. So he actually wants to go south around the volcanic island and then north to try to catch the reef on the backside because he wants to get an idea of where that reef is.
All right.
So the next night, you guys overnight between the volcano and that small little island, which is the island where you... No, actually, I think you just circled it. Yeah. I think that island... Yeah, that island was not amazing. 31 was... What is that volcano? What's special about that thing? Oh, yeah. Pterodactyl creatures fly around way up in the air around the mountain.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Study them while you can, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys never get that close, so they're just in the distance.
Look at them intently.
Yeah, your dragon takes his opportunity to... Because the dragon came in with you, or did you leave the dragon at home?
I'm pretty sure I brought it with us. I don't think I trust it there yet. I think, yeah, I'd be worried that it would
Alright.
do things. But yeah.
So that's the sixth night. You're almost a week in here. And then... Yeah, your dragon took the opportunity here. It was diving off into the water, looking for food.
And it was never seen or heard from again.
Yeah, I'm not trying to start anything right now since kind of on a goal here.
Yeah.
But it would have been fun to go after a pterodactyl, see how they taste.
The seventh night, you guys actually anchorage in almost surrounded by the reefs because it looks like as he was coming up, he was trying to go around and he realized that there was this weird bend in the reef. So he's like, oh, the reefs are not straight here. So you guys ended up overnighting there. And then the next day, you're going to continue along the south side of the reefs. And then he's going to portage just south of the Pirate Cove on that the island that has the jungle on the south side and the hills on the north side. The little red dot was where the Pirate Cove was. He's just offshore from there. You guys have actually overnighted at 3 locations on that island. So you're definitely building up a really good map of this place. And then the next day, Alright, so that's day 8. You've reached the Hippogriff Island that night and shelter in a cove on the south side of the island. Did you guys want to... You had mostly seen the Hippogriffs on the north side. Did you guys want to go overland from here, or do you guys want to have him circle the island up a bit and get more towards where you had seen the Hippogriffs flying in the distance before exiting? So, like, take another day of sailing time.
I mean, I feel like taking another day would be fine. Like, we want to be close, but able to escape on boat if, like, we get a horde of them after us and can't deal with them for some reason.
Yeah, okay.
I'd agree with that.
You guys make landing. So midday on the 9th day of travel, you guys are nestled up in a little cove here on the Hippogriff Island, and you're only like 100 feet from shore. So you guys can get on the little boat, row on in. Your dragon can just fly over. and you guys can make a base camp here on the island. So I assume you'll basically be parking the ship. Half the crew will stay on, the other half comes ashore, sets up a base camp, and then you guys can head up the next day up into the hills for the hippogriffs.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. So I've indicated transit
guess,
in a hex.
I'll let them know that we may need to leave quickly when we get back.
Yeah. So here on the island, it quickly becomes apparent that somebody might have had some dock material built in that cove that you guys were in years past. However, nothing recent enough to show like normal construction. It's that there's just a long line of like broken rubble that would have been like a dock or a quay, and then hints of foundation stuff, but nothing, like no stones much more than a couple inches up the ground. It's more like you're looking at the exposed foundations of like people had buildings here long, long ago. And you also see signs of animal trails walking on the ground. And you actually catch sight of some ravines. They get out of the way, but it looks like there's feral pigs on this island.
They haven't all been eaten by the hippogriffs? Wow, that's pretty surprising, actually.
Badass pigs, dude.
Yeah, right? Holy shit.
It's mostly that they breed pretty quick and they know when to hide. But it's the hippogriffs probably eat on them. As you're moving through, you actually can see there's animal trails, but there's also, it looks like this island had inhabitants, not anytime recently, but a real long time ago, that maybe had laid out like roads in the area.
So maybe
And
it
had
was
like
same
it
group.
looks like there was actually a decent sized village here around this cove at one point. And not recent. I don't mean it was 100 years ago. I mean longer ago than that. But not so long ago that you wouldn't be able to see signs of it. It's overgrown, but the pigs definitely keep any large trees from forming. The reason why this island in many ways is as hard scrabble as it is because it's only just grasses and small bushes because the pigs will eat anything else.
Interesting.
You don't even see that many birds in the island. You've been seeing birds on all the islands, but like this one doesn't have a lot of birds, and that's because the
The pigs eat
pigs
them.
will eat the eggs. They'll eat the eggs.
Catch the birds out of midair.
Uh,
Launch themselves from
Um,
catapults.
So you see a bunch of the lizards that you've seen before. You see a bunch of like the insects you've seen before. It's a ton of there's a ton of plant coverage, but it's all real low. And there's definitely ruts where the pigs dig things up. You'll see the spots just up from here. You can see pigs have wallow holes as well as ruts dug and things. And there's a ton of erosion as a result. Like the soil is just being washed out. In fact, you might only be seeing the foundations of these buildings because the pigs have allowed erosion to erode away the soil that had been covering these ruins. So you don't know how long the pigs have been here or how successful they've been, but the pigs have basically taken over.
Pigs are running the madhouse.
It's what happens when you dump pigs on an island where there's enough food for them, there's enough fresh water, the pigs will just go wild. Now, none of these pigs are huge because it's like there's not enough real food for them. They basically compete against each other, and because pigs will eat each other if things get too big. So the
And they
pigs
get-
are all.
Imagine they also get eaten by the hippogriffs.
Exactly. If a pig gets too big, like if a feral hog reaches that, like I'm an 8-foot-long hog, they exist. The hippogriffs kill that. So
There you go.
most of the
Awesome.
pigs in this island are in the form of like they're the 3-foot. They're like the ones in Texas where there's a pack of 50 of them, and they'll just destroy your farm in a day. That's why here in California, there's no limit on hunting hogs. You can go hunt all the feral hogs you want. Just buy yourself the. I don't even know how much it is. It was like $20 back in the day. I don't know how much it is now. But you get one of those, and it's a good for a year. Hunt all the hogs you want. There is no limit.
And I flooped the pig. You flooped the pig?
Yep.
Yeah, and then you deal with all the parasites, because man, wild hogs are just filled with parasites.
Delicious.
Yep. Hippogriffs don't mind though.
Saw this terrifying CAT scan of a lady in China who, for like 30 years, ate raw pig. She was basically just like entirely parasites. Her whole body.
Yeah, it's
Ew.
the trichinosis, man. Because we're not a good host for them, so they end up going places they shouldn't because they get confused, and so
Mhm.
they end up building cysts all throughout your muscles. Because they're trying to do the whole through the gut of the pig and then infect something else, and it's a vector where the pig's just part of the life cycle. But we suck at that, and so they end up it's too easy to get out of our intestine system, and so these parasites get confused and they end up meandering all over the human body looking for a place. It's horrible for us, but like the parasite's like, where am I going? Where am I? I'm really confused now.
Guys. Hello?
I'm not even supposed to be here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So you guys will hike up. Probably do it the next day, actually. Like camp overnight.
Can we
If you
feed
guys-
some of the pigs to the dragon?
Oh yeah, if you tell the dragon it's okay to go hunting pig,
Yeah.
he will 100% go hunt pig.
I imagine we don't have to worry about parasites in the dragon. So yeah, go for it.
No. Parasites that dragons can get usually are macrophagia for everything else.
You can pick them up and hold them.
I was gonna say it's huge, huh? All right.
Yeah, it's like the mites that are on blue whales.
Yeah.
You know, the 3-inch mites that are on blue.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear about the kayakers? They got swallowed by a gray whale recently.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it came up and it just fucking gulped, just fucking took them both, and it opened its mouth again later on and they swam away. They didn't kill
Holy
them.
shit.
Like they're okay, but
Yeah.
like, dude.
Yeah, gray whales are filter feeders. They don't want something that big in their
No.
mouth.
They do not. It was not intentional, that's for sure. But like,
The fuck?
That's a hell of a bar story. Hey, to tell you about the time I got swallowed by a
Tale of
whale?
a tale, I'll tell you that.
fucking never get on a kayak again. Anyway,
No.
Right?
Uh-huh.
Jesus.
that's why we were in a big boat.
Yeah, so
Why-
on the 10th day, you guys can hike up in the hills. And you've seen the hippogriffs in the distance. They're keeping more distance, however, than they usually do. That might be because of the dragon.
Probably a good thing then.
Who knows? We'll see. And yeah, then hiking up in the hills, you guys realize, while they're not maintained or anything, these trails were roads at one point.
Back when the
And-
hippogriff people ruled these lands.
No, these look like roads and buildings made by human-sized people. And up near where the hippogriffs are, you can actually see there's a little easier to see the ruins of. You think there was. It might have been that this was some sort of area where they were raising hippogriffs, and this was a facility. Quite some long ago, because hippogriffs are not, in fact, native to this island.
Back when the Boer people still had their sentience.
But the hippogriffs seem to be doing okay. They eat pig, they eat fish, and do okay for themselves. So they haven't actually spread to the other islands yet, but based on how you guys see it, you're guessing there's several herds of hippogriffs that have kind of spread across the northern half of the island, and they might be eventually spreading across the south. But you guys just happen to have, like, it just happens to be that the hippogriffs haven't spread to the southern half of the island yet. If there wasn't so many pigs and the fishing wasn't so good, you imagine the hippogriffs would not be so nearly close to each other, because it looks like there's several prides of hippogriffs.
Oh wow.
Pride's the wrong word. Herd, because they're horse and eagles, so it would be a herd of hippogriff. So there are several separate herds. Herds, while they lay eggs in nests that they make, they in fact, the structure of it is they're led by the largest and oldest female, is the matriarch of the herd. She's the one that kind of sets the tone for everything. Stallions definitely try to come in, and there's usually one stallion who's allowed to breed at one time, but it's the matriarch who picks that, who's then allowed to breed with the other females in the herd. And if she doesn't like that stallion, she'll kick him out of the herd and like promote another one of the nearby. So it looks like there's some like hippogriffs that like live separate from the big herds. Those are the younger males who are not allowed to live with the actual herds, who are mostly females. Because they organize themselves like horses, but they're birds of prey. Thank you, wizards. Because wizards do wizard shit.
Yep. Kind of cool that it's all thought about. Is this something you came up with, or is this actually like proper hippogriff lore?
This is like hippogriff lore from several editions where it's like ecologies of different monsters, and so this is just me having sublimated like 30 years worth of reading D&D products.
Cool. Damn. Yeah, nice. Thank you.
Based on that, yeah, like if you guys can scare them away, you might be able to steal some eggs. Capturing a herd might be just having to capture the matriarch. In fact, that might be why Kermakos has such success at dealing with hippogriffs. For as violent a creature as they are, it might just be that, yeah, like horses, if you can capture and basically tame the matriarch of a herd, you can get the rest of the herd to just follow it.
All right.
But getting some eggs, if that's what you guys are here for, then this is the place to do it. What's the plan? Looks like they herd up on the hilltops, so it's not easy to like. It's not a flat surface where you're going up to. They build these like 20-foot across. They grab basically logs and jam them in, and then put foliage between it. But it's mostly like a series of like palm trees and some of the local hardwoods ripped up that they've basically mashed down into sides of cliffs that they've then dropped foliage on top. So it's logs in the bottom mixed with logs and foliage going up for like 3 or 4 feet across 20 feet, and then that's where they have their nests.
Damn.
Because you know they're the size of horses. They weigh 700 pounds each when they're full adults.
Jesus, yeah. So as much as I'd like to make a distraction, like fly around and scare them off, I'm not that good at flying yet.
Yes, because that might lead to aerial combat, and you're like, that's the thing I'm not good at.
Nope.
You're like, I can fly the guy as long as it's in a straight line.
Yep.
Nobody yells at me, and I have really good visibility. Don't yell at me. Just stay calm.
Nobody yell at me, okay?
No turn.
I
No
can deal
bumps.
with this.
I could do it, I swear.
Take the training wheels off us. I got
Yeah.
this.
So what's the plan? Did you guys want to pick one of the hilltops? Because you're up in the center of the island now. You guys can see there's some hilltops within like a mile of where you're at. It looks like there's probably 3 herds that are here centered around these large upright peaks, and that their territories extend in triangular ways away from each other, so that they just happen to herd here because these are the highest hills, and then they don't encroach upon each other's fishing or going after pig rights. They don't cross each other's lines. They just go away from the center.
Alright. I mean, get kind of an eye for where the nests actually are and head in one of those directions.
All right. So,
Quietly.
did you guys want to try to get to the top of the hills and then come down on some nests, or did you guys want to climb just straight up to a nest?
Ooh, so sneaky one way, because on top of a hill, these things fly around. They're gonna see the shit out of you.
Yes. If you go up to the top of the hill and then down to the nest, which is probably the easiest way to get onto a nest. No, it'll also let you make sure you're going to a nest with eggs, because you'll be above it. Because it would suck if you climb up to a nest and there's fucking nothing there, and then there's a fucking angry hippogriff flying nearby. So it just depends how do you guys want to pull this off. You have 3 hills. You can just pick one randomly. There's easily a dozen nests on each hill that's visible. There might be more, but those are the ones you can see. You think that each of these herds is, a little over a dozen to 2 dozen hippogriffs per, and then you guys have seen in the distance another several dozen, basically the stallions, who most of them have to like either by themselves or like with a group of like one or two of their siblings, hang out at the distance and basically like have to subsume on their own, and they can't like if they try to get too close, like the matriarch and her sisters will fucking rush them. So it's just not safe to do that.
Would this be a good time for your animal forms?
That's what I was thinking. Is turn into one of my animal forms.
Turn into a
Fly
giant snake and wind his way up and then begin eating the. Oh, I mean, getting the eggs.
Yes, gathering in my
I
mouth.
mean,
That's
how many
how you
eggs
do
could
it.
you swallow in a snake form and bring it back?
and
Isn't it
burp
a little,
them up.
a little gross, but you know.
And remember, these eggs are larger. They're the size of an elephant bird's. So that's. I'm sure that you guys have an idea of how big a
Ostrich egg.
ostrich egg is. Elephant birds were like double the volume. So not quite double the height. They're not double the height or anything, but it's like double the volume. So they're biggins.
They're heavy.
Chonky eggs. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, a boa constrictor could fit its mouth around one of those, right?
I'll stay down here from the hill that we pick to cover your retreat in case it gets hairy. Because I don't think I can sneak up there with the dragon.
No, but
I
if,
think
if
they're
You can
slightly
carry
larger
one.
than an elephant bird egg.
so, I think it'd be best if you came with. I mean, we're not necessarily sneaking. Like they're gonna see us regardless, probably.
So
It's more a matter of can we frighten them off? Unless
the
there is a
egg
way
is
we
actually
approach.
probably that's a 2-gallon egg. These eggs are probably like 6-gallon eggs.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
So
so
they're
one per person. I don't think you could pocket a few.
yeah, they probably weigh on the order of 40 pounds. Because there's a little stick / foal inside. They can't fly from the gecko, but it can walk as soon as it's hatched.
Cool.
And it can also peck at you and scratch you with its claws as soon as it's hatched.
Not
And
cool.
it's really hungry after it's hatched.
We just needed to imprint onto the dragon, I suppose.
World's biggest breakfast.
I mean, Asiago, knowing how to train horses, will say you actually want to imprint it on you. Like, whoever's going to do the training, because then it makes it easier for them to take instructions and not think of you as something to attack.
Yeah.
Also, if they're anything like horses, well, it's not that horses don't have a memory. It's that horses tend to remember things pretty literally. So if you pick them up and play with them when they're foals, horses never realize, no matter how big they get, that you're not larger than them. So in their minds, you're always the big thing that they have to, like, defer to. So even though you're smaller than it as an adult, like, horses, like, if you literally were there at their birth and you picked them up and you interacted with them, will forever, no matter how old they get, as long as you keep interacting with them, think of you as the big thing that protects them. So it's less like maternal imprinting and more just, oh yeah, the big horses in the herd, those are the ones I defer to. That's the mammal side. The bird side, that's maybe different. You're not as familiar with raising bird side, but since they seem to have herding behavior, you're guessing at least part of the imprinting is based on horse. So just because their diet is more carnivorous from the bird side, you think some of their like social behaviors are horse behaviors. It's partly why you can ride them, I guess. That makes sense, right?
Cool.
So did you guys want to do some scouting to see maybe even if there are eggs? Because right now you just see nests. You haven't verified eggs yet.
That's what I was gonna do. I'm gonna turn into a bird, a smaller bird, so less easy to spot. but something fast. So like a sparrowhawk, and then fly up and get kind of an eyeball on their nests, see which ones have maybe the most eggs, or are not currently guarded by
Okay.
more than a few hippogriffs.
I
So,
would
while-
love to actually join him in that. I have animal form as well.
Oh, there you go. So we
Oh,
got a few birds
shit.
up and flying.
That's fucking funny.
Caw.
Sure,
You guys get a good bird's eye view.
I am
Caw, caw,
tripping
caw.
out. This is the first time I've
At
used
least
it.
this one hill you've chosen, you guys realize that there's about 18 total nests all the way around the hill on this one hill. Only 6 of them have eggs. Another 2 of them have young that have already hatched. It looks like you guys lucked out. Late summertime into early autumn is apparently when their eggs hatch. That way they're not hatching during wintertime, but they're also not hatching, like, they're around right when all animals are at their fattest because, they've been eating the stuff from the end of the year.
Okay.
So this is the time when they hatch, because that's when, like, in the northern environments anyway, back where you guys are from, hatching late summer means they'd get to eat all the scrumptious things that have been fattening themselves up for winter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this is actually about the time that their eggs would be hatching over the next month or so for most of it. So it looks like the earliest ones have already hatched and are little, cute little murder machines that look like a cross between a little baby horse and a baby God.
Baby God. Oh no.
No,
Baby God.
I'm trying to think of the best eagle. It's one of those majestic
Harpy
eagles.
eagle?
Yeah, one of the it looks like a cross between a harpy eagle and a horse. So it has the hind legs of a little baby horse, but it has this weird sort of like the general shape of a horse, but with wings. But the actual limbs in the front and the head are eagle shaped. And they just look very hungry. But it's the chibi version when they're babies, so they look cute. Yeah. Like soft, downy feathers. Wanting to be fed. And it looks like, because it's sunny out, like the not all the eggs are being like sat on or sat near right now, because it's definitely warm enough to like the eggs just get some sun. Some of the parents, it looks like they're hunting at the moment. There are still other ones around. You guys are pretty sure that a few... Oh yeah, there you go. That's literally what we're talking about. Not as white coloring. These are definitely like darker, more like dark brown and goldish colors. So it's like the brown rear end, and then the eagle coloration is more like a harpy eagle. So it's got the plumage with a few white feathers, but mostly like darker brown and golden colors. But yeah, very much that image. Very hungry. Very little,
Very.
Very hungry.
Very hungry.
Yeah. You guys are pretty sure several of the hippogriffs know you as birds are here. Whether or not they know what you are, but they've definitely, you can catch them looking at you guys. You guys realize with your bird eyesight, like, how much better it's gotten. You're like, oh, the hippogriffs have way bigger eyes than we do.
Oh, they can really easily see us. Aw, shit.
Yeah, and like they like bird eyes, they track movement. They're really
Yep.
good at tracking movement.
Yeah.
They're really good at predicting where things will move to, too. Like, their brains are wired for like a 3D spatial awareness, and they have really good distance acuity. So they don't make details out at distance. What they do, though, is they see movement against background, so they can pick out things that are moving from a really far distance away.
Yep.
Because eagles can see movement like 8 times better than we can at distance. It's crazy
Right.
how better it is.
It is insane.
Um,
Telescope eyes.
yeah. I mean, like, the downside of the way their eyes are is they don't make out details the same way we do. So birds get fooled by certain kinds of camouflage that we would think, like, why can't you just look at it and see? It's that because since we're apes, we're optimized for picking out predators and like dense, thick jungles up close, but also being able to tell if something's like real or not, because it's like, is it food? Our visual acuity is different. They see better colors, but like we get fooled less by camouflaging things.
Well, can we identify with our semi-detailed eyes which ones have the best chance for eggs and least chance for getting eaten by the egg layer?
So it really depends on how you want to get up there. The cliffs, the nest nearest to the ground is like 100 feet up, and it's like 200 feet to the base of the hill, so it's a pretty steep climb. There are some that are another 100 feet above that, up near the top of the hill. These are hills very similar to, say, the hills over on the eastern side of Santa Rosa and Sonoma Valley. You know those exposed rocky hills in that the mountain outcroppings, and I don't know if you guys have done any hiking around here, but they're pretty steep rocky hills.
Okay.
So they're not vertical or anything. You guys can get up them. It's just, it takes, sometimes your hands. Cause
Yeah.
you got to hold on to stuff when you're pulling yourself up around things. However, the other thing you noticed from high up, there was definitely a human settlement here at some point hundreds of years ago, because you guys can see the vague imprints of it in the ground, because since there isn't dense tree cover blocking it, you guys can see the outlines of foundations all over the place near the bottoms of places.
Cool.
Near the bottoms of these valleys. So, yeah, this island had a fairly large humanoid population at one point who built stone buildings.
Oh.
Probably more than 200 years ago, though. But you wouldn't necessarily say much older than that, but it's definitely not like yesterday or last week or a decade ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
It would be much harder to see if there were any amount of trees, but fortunately, the pigs keep any trees from growing, so...
Yep. All right. So do we want to try maybe going up the side where the human settlement was and then go over from there?
That might be the best option. I have concerns about my ability to climb.
As do I. but
I'm not climbing. I'm staying down here with the dragon.
We probably want you to come up with
We
us
need to do
because
this as a group or not at all. Like,
Yeah.
Or if you guys are going to go up, have him be on overflight on the dragon.
You have a rope of climbing too, don't you?
right.
Not me.
Yes,
Yeah.
you do.
it's on.
You specifically have a rope of climbing,
I thought I gave that to.
length of red silk rope.
I do have a rope, yes.
As far as the item sheet.
I love that Blarth has magic items on him. He's forgotten about it. It's like, oh yeah,
Whoa!
I do have that.
Look at this.
I didn't have the sword written on mine because I thought that was on Linus, and then
I just can't use a sword.
I know, but we weren't gonna use it anyway because it's got the it wants you to mine, so we didn't have a use for it. And then as for the rope, I would have written that in. I do have rope. I just didn't think it was the special rope. I thought it was
Yeah,
one of you
it's
guys.
on the at least the loot sheet. It's listed
Yeah.
as being in your pocket.
Okay. I will get that written on there. So
Blarth's a reasonable person to use it. He's fairly strong, and he tends to be in the front. So leaving him with the rope would have made sense.
Yeah, you've got a
don't know if
shield.
I don't know if I need a dragon and a rope of climbing then, in that case.
I think that's part of why we gave you the rope of climbing.
Well,
the dragon?
But no, before he didn't have the. We only got the dragon recently. He's had the rope of climbing for a very long time.
Right. I thought it was just like an additional security measure in case he needs it, because the rope of climbing both helps you climb up things, but also helps you climb down things.
Well, now that he's got the dragon, like maybe you should take the rope because you can't climb very well.
And you have strength.
Yep.
Then I bequeath you the rope of climbing. I just wrote it on my character sheet. It is now gone now.
Or Asiago, one of the two. Because I can just turn into a bird.
It's
What
okay.
skill is it to use climb? Isn't it strength?
I would think so.
Yeah, I mean, unless you guys, these hills are not enough to require a thief. For instance, These hills are such that a thief would never even have to make a check. He can just go up it like he was fucking walking up some stairs. You guys might have to make some strength checks at time.
Asiago,
Or-
what's your strength?
16.
I think I'm higher than you.
Yeah, it sounds right. Like you had a 17 or 18.
Yeah. Do you want the rope then?
Sure. I will use it.
All right. So the plan was you guys were going to follow some of the roads and kind of spiral in on this one hill, and come up kind of the back side of it, and then drop down on some of the nests that had eggs so that you guys can get them, and then maybe head down the hill from the egg sites, or did you want to grab them and then climb back up to the hill and then come back down the backside?
What seems easier?
I mean, easier is just to get the eggs and then climb down the hill, because you're not having to deal with climbing up it. You're just, putting the eggs in some sacks, and then with rope, tying them to somebody, and then just using the rope of climbing makes it real easy to tie it off, go down 20-30 feet, use the command to make the thing unhook itself, rehook it where you're at, and then climb down another 20-30 feet. That's pretty quick to get down a hillside.
Yeah, coming from above definitely seems like our best bet, but we're probably more likely to get attacked on the way, so we need to bring the dragon with us.
That's the thing, like, if I bring the dragon anywhere near up there, they are going to go apeshit, like, all of them.
Probably, but you guys do have spells, so if you're willing to fight them, you guys can definitely fight a bunch of hippogriffs. If you're trying to avoid them completely and be sneak thieves, then I'd recommend invisibility.
We have invisibility?
I have it.
Could you cast it
And,
enough times?
I imagine if I have it, Eleanor has it.
Now, I will say, once you guys start picking up the eggs, you will no longer be invisible.
Mm-hmm.
Because while you can filch small items, picking up a living creature will in fact break your invisibility.
Makes
And
sense.
so picking up a large egg will in fact break the magic of invisibility. Like keeping invisible while you're picking up some loose change on the table, yeah, you can stay invisible. Picking up a living creature, though, typically involves interacting with somebody else, which means your magic interacts and the magic breaks. But you guys could totally do that. Maybe either leave the dragon behind or have the dragon and him at the bottom of the hill, as that's once you guys get the stuff, you're gonna immediately go quick down the side of the hill, then have him and the dragon as a pivot hard point, and then back your way out of the area.
That's what I was thinking. That way I could back them up if they do get chased by one. Then I could use the breath weapon as they run.
So, do you guys want to try to? You think you can get a spot if you're just going to do a single pass, invisible, walk up the hill, come down the hill real careful, come down, grab some eggs, and then carefully make your way down the hill towards where him and the dragon are going to be, and then you guys back out of the whole area. Even if they're mad, hopefully the hippogriffs stay just angry, but not attack you since there's the dragon and you're not moving quick or flying.
Yeah. And I can fascinate along the way if necessary as well.
Exactly. So if you guys are just trying to maybe leave the hippogriff herds, you're not killing them because you don't want to kill the hippogriffs. That would kill the goose that laid the golden egg. Yeah, you guys could easily get an egg per person. So it'd be 3 eggs easily, get them off the hill, and get down. If you guys had anything to store that's like a bag of holding to put them in, you guys might be able to catch as many as 6 eggs doing that off of hitting 2 different nests on your way down.
We never got a bag of holding, I don't think, right? Or did we? I think it was one. No, I think it was one of the things.
If you guys want to try carrying more than 1 egg per person, there's just I'm going to start asking for some skill checks on that kind of stuff.
Oof.
But you guys could do 1 egg per person just on your way down. Because it's less about the weight of it and more just that it's awkward. And also, since the babies are more developed, it's not just a simple egg, the eggs might move in response to you moving them a little bit.
Yeah. Can we bring 1 or 2 of the sailors with us, and maybe a Vino? Get her some experience? These are hippogriffs.
You can bring it, but if you bring them up, man, a hippogriff can kill any one of these people, including Avina, in 1 round.
Yeah.
Not even
Yeah.
a full action.
Level 1. Probably not the Time for
Like leaving them down with the dragon, like behind, and like give them all spears so that they have like basically a hedgehog defense. Yes, they can be here. They're backup. It makes the thing look less like a good idea to the hippogriffs. But I wouldn't necessarily bring them up on the hilltop with you because they are not experienced at doing this kind of stuff. Not what they signed up for. Standing in a tight circle near a dragon with a bunch of spears pointed up to keep hippogriffs from wanting to attack them. Sure, the dragon has a breath weapon. They're fine with doing that. Yeah. So, do you guys have a plan?
We do have a potion of strength if we need it. But, I mean, it'd be nice to get more than just 3. But that would be enough for at least the main party. I can just teach Ravino to be a druid, and then she can fly along with us. Yeah, that'll work.
I mean, if they're not having to help you as much. So, if, for instance, if you quaff that potion of strength while you're up on the top of the hill, so that when you guys go down, you can pick up an egg and then go down the hill with no problem or any help. So it would mean that, in fact, with an 18, because that does that, I would let you take up 2 eggs, so that you could take 2 eggs if you drink the potion. Eleonora, because she already has 18 and wouldn't have to be helping you, can then take 2 eggs because she doesn't have to help you, because ordinarily you're not strong enough, she'd have to give you a hand, so she wouldn't be able to take 2 eggs. She could take 2 eggs on the way down, and that would leave then Asiago able to use the rope and direct things and get people down the hill while carrying 1 egg. So you guys get 5 eggs.
Question. My strength doesn't transfer over to the animals that I become. They have like a default value strength, right?
Yeah, but I mean, it's a rough guideline. You're slightly less strong than the average one when you become something.
Okay.
You're not. It's not quite as bad off, but it's like, yeah, you're like, oh yeah, you're a little weaker than an average horse, or you're a little weaker than the average badger.
Okay. Could I turn into like?
More about it's the carrying capacity. It doesn't change the damage or your to hit rolls, but it's more like you just have slightly less carrying capacity in other forms.
Could I turn into like a condor, and we quickly make up like a rope satchel to carry an egg, and I can just carry it in my claws and fly down with it?
I'll have you know that 45 pounds is too heavy for a condor to fly with.
Fucking
I like
ghost
the
time.
idea. You go for it. You just fucking drop. Whee!
I think condors weigh less than 45 pounds. They have 11-foot wingspan, but I think they only weigh like 36 pounds because they're mostly feather and hollow bones. Real sharp claws, they can kill you, but it's mostly feathers and hollow bones.
Your feathers and hollow bones.
I mean, secretly, no one was supposed to know that.
I mean, aren't there stories of like birds of prey carrying off goats and shit?
Yeah, most of that is birds of prey killing and then like dragging a goat. Like, you'll even, if you go online, you can see some videos of like hawks or eagles catching something and then like beating furiously while they drag it across the ground.
Alright. Do we just want to quaff this potion then?
If you quaff it, that would mean that you can carry 2. That would free up Eleonora so she would be able to carry 2. And that would mean that Asiago would be your guys' point man. He'd carry 1, and with the rope, he'd be able to then escort everybody down off the hill while you guys were taking careful time to carry 2 eggs.
5 is like the max, pretty much, right? That's a little less.
But with
yeah,
just the
that's-
sending up those 3, yeah. That would mean, though, that you'd have then this pivot point of Blarth and the dragon, along with the, like, 3 sailors plus Avina holding spears or her halberd to, like, kind of make a prickly hedgehog with a breath weapon to get over to the safety, and then you guys slowly back the fuck out.
Sounds good.
You'll piss off the herd, but, you know, what are they going to do? They might attack you, but probably not. They'll be really angry, and they might, like, hover over you guys for a while, but as long as you guys can present enough of a threat, you can keep them from just attacking you. Because hippogriffs are aggressive, but there's a difference between aggressive and stupid.
Found some info for your lifting as a bird, by the way.
Oh,
Condor,
yeah.
not the one, because they don't have to lift; they just eat where the thing died. They don't
Oh
lift
yeah,
it.
they land, kill and eat, or land and eat the already dead thing.
But if you could be a harpy eagle, they have been known to lift up to 40 pounds. So it's almost there.
Almost there.
Almost.
It's almost there. It's
Fuck-
right
fuck
there.
a small egg.
The
Damn.
problem is the eggs are really large because this is not a small animal.
No.
Besides, you're able to
Alright.
carry 2 right now.
Yeah.
Like the thing can only really fly because they're magical creatures.
Dude, if I was better with a dragon, I would suggest, I do it with a dragon. But
Yeah, just have the dragon carry them all. One big net.
We really don't need any
Likelihood
more than
of-
5 though. Like this is perfect.
No, this is great. And if
Okay.
we want to, we can come back and try and capture the matron. But for now,
So what I want is just I want 3 either acrobatics or strength checks or rope use checks, anything that would conceivably be something that would get you down the hill. Just maybe 3 of those. I'm really only concerned with how well you do on any 2 of them. Basically, because since you guys started invisible and you were going to take your time and you had the rope of climbing, you guys have some room for error. But just you're going to do roll 2d6 and plus either your just straight strength modifier. Let me know if this is a straight strength skill, or if you have a relevant skill that you think would work, let me know, and just make 3 of those rolls. And I
Survival
want to know what your
mountains.
2 best are. Roll them each separately. So roll 2d6 plus your bonus 3 times, and then tell me what your best 2 are.
would survival mountains count?
Yeah.
Cool.
It totally would.
survival in the mountain.
I have survival jungle. Would I be adding that to my +3 bonus for strength?
You could use it instead of your strength, although in your case, you might
Got
just
it.
want to go for the strength.
Yeah.
Oh, is it an instead of in addition to?
Yeah, it's instead of an
Oh,
addition.
okay.
So
Well,
it's
then-
one or the other. Right now, you guys are high on strength. You might just want to go for that.
yeah, -3 from my roll, so
Oh, your 2
11.
best are fine. Like, Brother Linus does it flawlessly.
I rolled the odd ones.
You get 2 nice eggs. You get them down in the bottom.
Wait, what is it? Slash roll
That was exclamation point R.
R.
It doesn't bring up anything.
Because this is the Avray. It's the one from 5th edition.
Yeah, it's the Everybot. So
What do we do for Everbot?
I think,
Exclamation mark R
yeah.
space. You have 2
So,
eggs.
first one, super successful. Anything 7 or better will be a success. Anything 9 or better is outstanding success, which means you experienced no problems. And you're like, oh, that was easy. You can do this all day. I mean, don't necessarily get cocky, but it felt like that was just the super easy thing. So, Asiago, you stumbled a bit, but you managed to pull it together on your first time. The second one, a little better, but it was still, you're like, oh yeah, this is, I'm having to take my time on this. But then, like, you pulled it out, you're fine. And then, so Cynthia, if you could just make me 2, oh, you're making the rolls. There we go. Oh yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Second
yeah,
one.
cut that off.
So you don't even need to make the third one. Your 2 were super successes. You can totally make it if you want to have a great, immense success.
You want to be flashy about it?
Leap off the side of the mountain. Whoa!
Doing flips and shit.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
all
All
3
10
of
and
your
a
rolls
9.
were all above 9s. Were all 9s or better, which means 9 or better was the it was flawless success. So nobody fucked up at all. Like Asiago's worst of his 2 was 8. It was 8 and 10, which means that he was the one who technically rolled the lowest. But those were all. One was a normal success, one was a great success, which means that Asiago was pretty good at getting you guys down without jostling anything too bad and making sure the rope was the exact right length you needed. Then he would reset it, put it on the new spot, pull it down. So with the rope of climbing, the thing of invincibility, they got you up there without them noticing it. The hippogriffs are freaking the fuck out, but you guys managed to get 5 hippogriff eggs without
Hell
having
yeah.
to kill any of the hippogriffs. And since you guys even presented a large force, with pointy things and a dragon. The hippogriffs are really angry. You can see the hippogriffs are flying above you in like this funnel formation, really fucking pissed, but they're holding off. And you guys figured out a successful way to remove some eggs from a colony. The issue is you didn't remove all the eggs, so the hippogriffs are not as pissed as they would be if you had removed all of their eggs.
Every single one of them.
Also,
Oh,
you
monsters.
didn't go after the matriarch's nest. You picked 2 random ones that just happened to be lined up best. So the matriarch, while angry, is not like,
Murder, death,
Yeah.
kill.
murder-suicide pact has been enacted. Your murder, her potential suicide. She doesn't know which is going to happen, but she's going to try for it.
Someone's gonna die.
Yeah. So instead, she's just really angry, but she also doesn't want to like kill her whole herd, so she's holding off and just like remembering who you are.
They're gonna be like
Alright.
crows and ravens and harass us as we go across campus. Drop things
Hippogriffs
on us.
Hippogriffs are smarter than crows.
Oh boy.
They're just not tool using, but they have better memories and hold grudges better than crows do.
Alright, so we wore masks while we were doing this the whole time. Definitely
Yeah,
masks.
this is a different white dragon.
Yeah, different white dragon.
Yep. Not Baxter.
I mean, fortunately, while hippogriffs can definitely smell things, scent tracking is not actually one of the things they do. They're acuity trackers, not scent
Okay.
trackers.
But they
So
do
we-
have that keen fucking eyesight, so
They got real keen eyesight. They know who you are.
It
we
knows who
Definitely
you-
put on some makeup. Dyed her hair a bit, you know.
This is actually, you guys have been talking about doing this, and then kind of made a quest for yourself to recover hippogriff eggs.
Yep.
A while ago, so you guys actually got a quest completion for that in my mind.
Hell yeah.
So I'm going to award 20,000 XP to the group as a whole for
Cool.
actually following through on acquiring hippogriffs. Now, whether or not you end up raising them, it's a different story, but you guys actually put in the effort, and you learned where they were, you made a plan, you realized that there's some value in hippogriffs, and you now have 5 hippogriff eggs. So we'll do some stuff on whether or not these survive, but that means I assume you're going to head back to the boat.
Yes.
Yep.
So, options are, you guys can set sail the next day and get the fuck away from the island, and basically don't let the hippogriffs like build up their sense of courage. Maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll do that one. That one.
That, and we want to make sure that we get to the trainers when they're hatching for best assistance.
Yeah. So, do you guys want to? Basically, yeah. Your captain's gonna ask is like, are we heading straight back, or do you guys want to do another like northern circumference of the island? He doesn't know how time sensitive it is because he knows that you wanted the hippogriffs, but like he also wants to get really good charts. So he's asking, is it like, are we heading straight back? In which case he's fine with that. Since we have some charts, he'll start cutting across these bays so that you guys have some slightly better like finding out if there's any reefs in places.
Yeah, I'd say we head back.
Okay, so on the 12th day, you're going to set sail. And he is 1, 2. Anchor.
We can send at least one of these eggs back to the mainland. Be like, hey, these exist. We're hiring a trainer. Someone show up. Okay, thanks.
I mean, I say we train up 3 of them for you guys right now. They hatch, they see you. The trainer tells you what to do. We pay the trainer for the assistance, and
Yep. Well, see, that's the thing is we didn't get a trainer onto the island, so we'd have to go back to the mainland.
that's what I mean. Let's head back.
I mean, you guys could start just training them. Like
We
they
do
wouldn't
have
necessarily
horse
be.
training.
You do have horse training. You can tame them. You'll just teach them to live with you guys. You'll have them imprint on you guys, and then if you want to, They're not going to be full grown next year. They'll be like half the size, and like bring them back in the springtime when you guys head back north. Had you guys encountered a giant squid?
No, I would
Okay.
remember that.
Okay.
What's the okay?
No problem. No problem.
Plans for the future.
Yeah,
Yeah, just ignore the
think-
dice rolling area right now.
no worries, no worries.
Okay. Okay.
They doing
I
that.
know
Oh,
you
you're
guys, Andy.
fucking dying.
We've killed
All
like
hands
8 of
on
them
deck.
already, Andy.
Yeah,
you guys anchor off that Eagle Claw Peninsula. You guys anchor off just right offshore, like literally like 500 feet from shore. He's taking this as an opportunity to like chart the edges of the island a little bit, and then. And then that next night, he does it at the end of that southern peninsula on the claw. He anchors you guys. So you guys took some time and marked off where, like, it looks like there might be some springs along anywhere. Like, this is, knowledge of where things are along the island. And since you guys wanted to head straight back, he's just going to sail across the bottom of the bay. He's going to go a little further north from the reef because he wants to just make sure there's not another reef somewhere along the southern side to make sure how safe that shipping passage is. You guys overnight in the bay, several miles north of the reef. Because it's fairly shallow. The bay is only like 100 feet deep in the spot where you're at. Because it gets deeper towards the center, but the actual area where you're at has a bunch of piled up crap on the north side of that reef. So it's more like the edge of a lagoon, but it's not a shallow lagoon. It's a deep water lagoon. So it doesn't count as open ocean.
But there's mermaids in there.
Undoubtedly.
Fuck mermaids.
The harlots.
I ain't going near that shit.
Mermaid.
Mermaid.
And then cutting across. And you guys will overnight at a new spot right at the southern edge of the Friendly Peninsula, increasing the number of spots where you guys have stayed overnight. He's definitely working on the charts over time.
Cool.
So it's going to be day 21 when you guys arrive back.
Okay. And then, how long is it going to take for these eggs to hatch? And I guess we need to talk about, are you guys going to have 3 hatch for you and then the other 2 we're selling, or what's up?
I figured there was essentially a mount for less and a mount for.
Is that what we were? I thought
Venus.
Little S was gonna get a
Or
baby
with-
seat.
Eleanor, I was gonna say Eleanor would really prefer it if Little S has like one of those little cool like dune buggies so that he can ride side next to Eleanor. I don't want to give him his own. Like
I don't know how that works in the air, but it just sounds cool.
Figure it out.
I'm thinking more or like the R2D2 hub. It like I don't know, just like an additional saddle for like a little one, but I don't want him on his own.
So I
Take a
updated the map.
Bye.
Not a lot of change, but like it's showing all the indicator marks where you've traveled. So you guys have a lot of chart information on this the
Cool.
southern half of the map.
I'd say we give one then to Avino, and we can sell the other one.
I thought one of them was to show / give to the Griffin trainers so that they can help us acquire moss and or help us raise these at a later point. Like I imagine.
Yeah.
I just
If we
don't think
use
we're
one of
gonna
these
get the
eggs as a
egg there
bartering
before
chip.
it hatches unless we leave now.
Yeah, that's the thing is the egg's probably gonna hatch. How long did it take to sail from
38 days.
38? Okay, so it'll probably hatch along the way then.
For mainland or back towards the island where we saw the other Griffin trainers.
Other
Were there
Griffin trainers.
Were there Griffin trainer or hippogriff trainers on the island?
No.
No, it's that centuries ago someone had probably been training
Oh,
hippogriffs
got
on
it.
that island.
My bad.
The ruins thereof. So yeah, if you guys wanted to, you would get back in Karamakos in the fall. Shipping then becomes dangerous, but you could get back there, but then you'd need to immediately turn around if you wanted to come back to the Isle of Dread this year, because once late fall happens, the windstorms are going to be such that you would not want to cross the Sea of Dread.
Depends how long you guys want to start training and raising these little.
Because you guys could set sail immediately and be back somewhere between 30 and 45 days would be how long it would take you to get back, depending on the storms.
Yeah, I mean, we could sell the last hippogriff if it hatches before then, or maybe even give it to the captain as a new pet.
You could keep it on the farm.
Should keep it on the farm.
Okay,
Give
so
it
you
to,
guys have
to Sark or whatever. As
Well,
a
we'd
patrol.
have to go all the way back to the farm. That's a journey.
you guys are going to need to feed them softened meat or fish.
Fish we can.
Santiago!
Yeah,
You're
fine,
creating
okay.
your whole character for this.
So basically they're likely going to hatch on the early part of the voyage. You're going to have to keep them warm, not a big deal. Keep them away from the dragon. And you'll definitely not want them to just run free on the deck because they'll end up falling overboard. So you'll keep them in the hold. You'll let them look up at the sun, and you're going to be with them a lot all day and all night.
Yeah.
Basically, you're going to be sleeping with them.
You can
and
give them
eating them.
names.
Oh Jesus! All right, yeah, no, I mean, I got the fucking animal training, and
You do.
fish
You're
training.
going to be making some rolls. You're
This is
basically
gonna
going
be
to
my
make a roll
brood.
per week.
All right.
Spent
So,
a lot of time.
Yeah.
What I want
brood,
you
let's
guys
go.
to do is, I don't care who wants to do it, if who wants to take the responsibility, but for each egg, roll a d6. On a 6, the egg didn't make it.
Didn't make it.
Okay. Oh,
On a 6.
boy.
So if 1 through 5, the egg hatches and you have yourself a hippogriff foal. On a 6, it does not.
All right. I grabbed 2, so I'm gonna roll at least 2.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Gabe apparently did something bad to his egg.
He dropped it
He
immediately.
got hungry.
Sorry, guys.
Oh
No,
my. Okay,
Okay.
guys. It showed
So-
up.
I
D6 in
yeah,
front.
too. I was like, are you shitting me?
So of 2 of the eggs, 1 survived, and then we have another...
Oh no!
So what we're trying to say here is that Watsy hates hippogriffs.
Yep.
They're
Watsy
dead.
hates hippogriff.
Oh my god.
Are we gonna have to go steal some more
Maybe.
on the way back?
Maybe.
I mean, here's the thing. You guys know where they are. You guys were already planning on potentially getting more. What you wanted here was proof of concept and the ability to show that you could bring them back. So, and then
Okay, one
Cynthia,
more.
you have
We got one more.
Unless you want to hand the responsibility off to someone else.
Don't look at me. I got a dragon over here.
I rolled a 6. Don't fucking trust me with this shit.
So Asiago will make one more roll.
Okay. So we've got 2 eggs. We've got 2 eggs that we can sell and be like, yeah, this will hatch.
They already didn't, but you know.
They don't know that.
Pretty sure they're gonna know that. It's still proof.
Yeah, still proof. Besides that,
Having the ones that you're gonna have alive with you is pretty good fucking proof too.
So it's,
Yeah.
it's exclamation R space
Space.
like 3d6.
Yeah.
All right, takes you guys 38 days to get back. There were 4 storms. However, Your captain completely avoided 3 of them and basically used them to propel you up because they were late tropical storms. So he basically used the extra wind power to. It took longer, but he got you there. Like, it was a much higher speed. So he basically churned you way over to the east and then back up towards Karamakos. Because you guys kind of vaulted around, following the wind patterns. You ended up tacking in, going kind of south and west, and then over towards the islands. And this way, when you're leaving, you guys left from the south of the islands, dipped around the archipelago, and then like took the long way up and around. But you were going at a much higher speed because the storms were giving you much better headwind.
The long way.
Yeah. Which means that you guys are now in mid-fall. And as a result of 38 days, that means I need 5 handle animal checks from Asiago. 1 for each week.
Okay.
Can I also have a +3 in animal training? Can we
So you guys
combine our
can each
efforts?
roll, and then you'll take the better of the 2.
Okay, cool.
But that's one. Basically, it's better of the 2 once per week. So week 1, make your rolls each.
This is another 2d6.
What's good? What's bad here?
Higher is better.
All right.
Yeah, so you guys handled
Wow.
the newborns amazingly well. You fed them, you paid enough attention, you kept them at the right temperature. You definitely, they didn't get bored, they didn't get destructive. They imprinted fairly well. You guys did a good job of making sure that everyone in the party who wants to be exposed to them was able to get exposed and have a good reaction from them. So the hippogriffs have a good opinion thus far of you, and you fed them, and while they're still clawing and pecking at things, they're not aggressive past the point of what would be expected from raising them, rather than like
Could
them
we-
freaking out.
Introduce them to the dragon at this point, or
Asiago probably recommends against it.
Yeah, they're too small. He'll just eat them.
I think I
nuggies.
can stop the dragon from eating them, but I'm just worried.
That
about
is
the-
true, but that they might think that he might do it anyway.
Yeah, they
Which
might
is
just
gonna
fall
terrify
over
They
dead.
do.
Ooh, Wingstop.
Jeez.
It's
What are
funny
you
because I
gonna
actually got
name yours?
Wingstop tonight for dinner.
Nice.
All right, yeah. So week 2, great. You guys are handling these guys amazingly well. Week 3.
Gonna name
Fortunately for
yours-
you guys, between Asiago and the dragon, it's easy enough to get fish. So supplementing the stored meats you have are really easy. Yeah, once again, you guys have never had bad rolls thus far. So week 3, once again, is great. Week 4.
I think Linus probably did a lot of foal rearing when he was a kid. He just like knows how to raise horses.
Damn. You guys.
You guys are better at raising ones once they're out of the egg. It's while they're still in the egg that it's not.
Yeah.
The hard part. You gonna name yours like mango
Yeah.
habanero?
So, when after 5 weeks, 38 days, you guys arrive back in Specularum, you have 3 still living hippogriff foals that are a little over a month past hatching. They're eating like 10 pounds of food a day. Well, because they're in that baby grow fast
I'm
period
so
where they
tired. I don't want to fish anymore.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd ever say it.
and it's bones and all because they need all the calcium. They're literally just
I'm just
needing all the
catching it and
nutrients from the
hucking
whole
at them.
thing.
Just fucking eat. Yeah.
Yeah, you're catching it and then you're just hacking them into big chunks and then letting them just consume the chunks.
There you go. Catch like a tuna. It's like a 20
yeah.
pounder.
So you guys are bringing back the pearls. So you guys made a profit with the pearls, and you guys have 3 hippogriffs. Now, were these hippogriffs that you guys wanted to personally start training, or was this now time to sell some hippogriffs and prove to the market you guys have hippogriffs, or are you just going to show off the hippogriffs and show that you have hippogriffs?
Get the eggs too. They didn't hatch.
I mean, I feel like having our own hippogriffs is pretty awesome, and
Yeah.
bringing back a hippogriff trainer that we can then.
I will say, your guys' boat, a little small for a dragon plus 3 full-sized hippogriffs.
Time to upgrade. This is bound to happen.
So, I wouldn't necessarily say you have to use these hippogriffs, because you guys know where there's more hippogriffs. So, if you guys wanted to keep using your boat for now and make some more profit before you need to buy a bigger boat or series of boats, because upgrading your boat now would be really expensive.
Yeah.
You guys bonded with these ones though, you know.
Oh no, they have, but they still don't like your dragon.
Oh, all right.
Your
well,
dragon
fuck 'em. Tell
freaks
'em.
them out. That's
gone.
here's the thing. That's why dragons stay in a different stable than the other flying mounts. Because
It
the other
freaks
flying
everything
mounts get freaked the fuck out by dragons.
I mean, they should.
Yeah. Dragons are unnerving. Like they have that dragon fear quality is just like dragons are just an unnerving creature. There's just something about them that is either in the case of like gold dragons, like majestic past the point of like, why am I not like giving it all my money and like offering it praises, to red dragons of like, why am I not running or why am I not pissing myself like on my knees?
It sounds like we need to have them hatch and like immediately be with the dragon for them to not be freaked out by the dragon.
Which is more training. To really pull something like that off, somebody would have to take the skill of animal training, specific for
Hippogriffs.
hippogriffs.
So that's why we want to get a hippogriff trainer. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess we could sell these ones because I mean, there's gonna be some newborns in the area anyway when we go back. Maybe even some more eggs. So
Well,
why don't we?
and or it might just be next year when you guys can pull off getting that. So you guys approved it, even if you don't hire a hippogriff trainer this year, because they'll probably have all been hatched and it would be capture point. But you guys can make a plan for next year, hire a hippogriff trainer, and get like a couple dozen eggs. And do it down there. Or get a couple dozen eggs and then like have 2 boats and immediately take them across the sea, deal with them on the boat, and then when you get to Specularum, it's like, hey, look, guys, we're here to sell like 24 hippogriff fowls.
Need some
How much
money.
do hippogriffs sell for?
Let us pull it out.
I imagine it'd be pretty decent.
I would hope so.
Ah man, we're gonna sell Mango Habanero and Original Hot.
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah,
Asiago
so
can part with garlic
hippogriff
from.
hippogriff halflings on the market in Specularum sell for 300 gold.
And that's 900 gold.
Or full-grown trained hippogriffs sell for 450 gold. So the mere act of having a living hatchling is actually most of the value. The training is only 100 and like having raised it to an adult plus training it, only 150 more gold. That's the price difference there is that's the price of a warhorse. So effectively, the 150 gold is just the value add of having raised it to over a yearling to being like 2 years old or so, and then having had the training to accept a mount and work with
Feeding it alone.
the mounted
Would be
person.
worth it. Sell it.
So maybe we sell these ones. God, I'm gonna be sad to get rid of lemon pepper, but you know,
Lemon pep, no.
the 300 gold means we don't have to
You'll make a good name for yourself. Like, you guys will, in addition to owning a dragon, so people are watching the dragon, people will know that you're a source for hippogriffs, so it definitely aids your name recognition of like, yeah, we're people who can get shit done. We can get hippogriffs. We can get flying. We can get more than one kind of flying mount.
We already have a dragon. Right? Like, we
By
can
the way,
do things.
Griffin eggs are only 250 gold because they're such trouble to both successfully hatch and then successfully raise up, so they're just not worth as much.
Yeah.
The hippogriff eggs, they'll sell, but it's the hatchlings people really want because they want somebody else to take the risk of trying to hatch the egg first.
I can see why.
So let's bring back with us some hippogriff trainers, maybe like a couple of them, or at least a hippogriff, like a good hippogriff trainer or two, and some stable hands. And then when we get back, we can go and capture the matron and all of the little babies. We can start our own hippogriff training grounds.
I'm
Like,
down.
it sounds like we're gonna need a lot of money, and so we can all have mounts on a boat and all have
Yeah.
mounts. Need the money.
I honestly need like 1,500 more experience, so I guess start using Charm Monster. That's
Yeah.
so close.
No, you'll get that this session because we just finished the quest.
So
Hopefully, yeah.
when you guys ask around, because you now have hippogriffs to sell, if you guys are selling them or not, you have 3 surviving. That's easy to do. Hippogriff trainers, especially ones that you would be taking out of the city and going overseas with, would want to be paid on the order of, not directly paid, but in their expenses would cost you guys about 100 gold a month for a journeyman hippogriff trainer. Thus, someone who's like, he's out of his apprenticeship, he's considered good enough to run his own business. He definitely is trusted to raise hippogriffs from start to finish. He can definitely make one that knights can then ride. His incidental costs plus his living expenses plus the things he'd want you to buy for him, plus his wage would be about 100 gold a month because you're taking him out of Specularum. In Specularum, you'd have to be paying him probably the equivalent of about 50 gold a month.
My headset cut out. What was that?
50 gold a month.
100 gold a month if you want to bring him down to the Isle of Dread. 50 gold a month if you just wanted to hire one full time and have them work in the area in or around Specularum.
No, I'll bring him down to the Isle.
So 100 gold a month for someone who's the fully trained person who has the skills to both raise them and train them in mounted and knows how to fly them in mounted combat to actually
All right.
like get it used to it. So that person is really skilled. They're not a landed knight, but they do get paid money, and there's a certain level of expenses around it. So basically that 100 gold a month is things like buying the right leathers and like tackle stuff, buying the right treats that it needs, making sure that the damage on things gets repaired because hippogriffs are hard on stuff. So yeah, 100 gold a month is what it would cost to have a full-time person like that who'd be willing to basically for like a year plus of their life live overseas away from civilization on an island 600-700 miles south of where they're from.
All right.
Don't suppose he can give me any tips on flying, mounting, and combat in the air.
If you want to pay someone to teach you to do that, this exists in town.
Okay.
So if you want to basically have it set up so the next time you get a skill, you can just immediately buy that skill. You can take some time to do that. But did you guys want to take time, or were you going to head back to the Isle of Dread so that you guys could remain in the Isle of Dread and do some adventuring over the winter?
Probably go back to Isle of Dread because we won't be able to go there after too long here. So
Oh, let's.
time to head back. Woo!
Yeah, and we're off again. All right, so we sell honey, habanero, lemon pepper.
Original hot.
It actually ends up taking you 44 days. You guys got caught in some hellacious storms because the season is definitely a changing. It is now late fall when you guys arrive back on the island. But you guys left before any of like the winter storms started happening up north. So it's seriously like into the beginning of like the equivalent of November right now.
Before we go back, we check with the local natives at the Isle of Dread, see what else they want us to bring back. We can bring back another couple of grand worth of tools if they want them.
I
Or
mean,
other things.
buying more tools, like there's still a need for it because it'll rust down there. So like metal tools won't last forever. But bringing more tools, bringing some more anything that would be building related that you wouldn't mind putting on a sailboat. So that's not like stones or things like that. but tools for building stuff, like wood shaping tools, might be what you want to look at.
Yeah, that's probably a good one.
Yeah.
Um,
Also bringing things like silk.
Silk.
Silk breathes real nice on islands.
That it does. Well, we now have like, it basically comes down to how much of this total does the, or do the villagers actually want to?
You guys probably need to chop off. Forget it. We figured it out at one point, but probably like 600 of that gold needs to be chopped off for operating costs on your guys' ship.
That's what I was about to ask.
And then salary. So I'm assuming like about 600 gold right now.
Cool.
Because your ship in the off time was making money for itself, so it definitely paid for itself, so you guys didn't have to worry about that. But now, since you guys are having to do like these deep ocean-going vessels things, and they're not making money for themselves, you guys have to, from your profits on the big voyage, have to, pay for the things.
Yeah.
The ship hasn't needed a big overhaul yet, so you guys are putting off that cost. All you've had to do are minor repairs.
Cool. And we can sell all of the pearls inland for face value?
Yeah, no, Specularum will totally buy all the pearls.
Sweet. We have a goodly amount of money now. So I will knock off, call it 700 for now for the boat and our new journeyman. I made an expenses tab on the party loot sheet.
So I'm not going to overly complicate things, but you guys actually got a slightly more money when you were selling the pearls, but you guys now have enough wealth where you guys had to pay taxes on that. So I'm letting you have the money, but it actually was like 25% higher. You guys had to pay 25% tax.
Woo. Okay.
All right.
Because you're flying the flag of Specularum, so it's income.
This might be a good stopping point. I don't know how much.
Yeah, no, I
longer-
figured it was. What I was going to say is we'll get you back to the island, so next time we can start with you guys just at the island.
Sounds good.
So it's at the beginning of November. You guys are back at the island and ready to adventure.
Cool.
Yay.
And let's do some XPs.
And then how much do we want to spend? We have 16 grand worth of liquid cash right now. How much do we think we want to spend to buy like silks and more tools and shit? I mean, if the village will buy it everything, we can just load up.
There's a finite amount that you can get from the villagers at any one time, and just based on what they're willing to and able to give you,
Just a
Yeah,
question of how much do they
could-
want to order?
you could probably just spend like up to 2,000 gold, maybe 3,000 gold of stuff, and that one village would want it. Otherwise, you don't quite know enough of the things that you can get here that they might want yet, because honestly, the villagers don't know. So if you want to spend another 1,000 gold and mark it as like random other goods where you're like guessing, we'll do some checks to see like how successful you were.
All right.
I imagine
You're
we don't want to like.
allocating-
I was gonna say, I imagine we don't want to get like too much stuff too, because it's not like we have like a giant ship and
Yeah,
traveling. Like, don't
4,000
want to damage it.
4,000 gold means you're actually putting a decent amount of weight in the ship. That's enough where like, yep, ship's full plus people and dragon.
And then woodworking tools, just tools in general for our
You're
general
spending
use.
like 3,000 gold for like I'm adding all, and that's all the trade stuff that
Okay.
you're buying.
Cool.
And then another 1,000 gold of like they
Nope.
might want this. Let's find out. It's just stuff is not present at the island. Let's see if they want it.
Cool.
Things like some glass. Glassware.
Spices, different types of seeds for food, other types of clothing.
Yeah, so let's see how it did today.
Fancy silks.
Fancy
silks.
silks.
They don't even wear them. They just lay on it on the sand on the beach. Like, oh yeah, that's the way to do it.
Right. So you guys got a quest reward, and then you guys successfully dealt with a bunch of the hippogriffs as well. So you guys got some the monster award there.
Nice.
Drafts. And then the valuation from the hippogriff sales, since that was part of that as a special treasure thing, that counts, that the amount of gold you got then also counts as for XP.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. I dig it.
Yeah, so that puts Blarth, you're at 115,000. Actually, you're almost at 116. You're like 4,000 away from leveling.
Getting there. And learn how
Better.
to ride this dragon better.
Did our pearl sales also count?
No, the pearls, that's just trade. Like, that's its own reward.
Money is its own reward. Yeah, yeah. that
Money,
sounds about right.
'cause, like, that was, you guys, basically, the XP for that is in the form of some of the quest rewards you guys have either already gotten or you will get.
Yeah.
Yeah. Avina is a little closer to leveling, but she's not.
Oh, she didn't quite make it?
No.
I was hoping she would get there. Come on. With 1,500, can't even get to level 2.
She's at
Girl,
1,200
you
right
slow.
now. Yeah, she kind of is. I mean, for hirelings, they don't level super fast unless you guys get an actual treasure reward or fight a ton of monsters. Because NPCs, the hirelings, they don't get quest rewards like you do.
Yeah.
That at least I ruled it that way. That way I don't have to deal with that. Asiago, yeah, you're at 116,000. Cynthia's 118,000. Both you guys are pretty close to leveling as well. Little S is 184 XP away from leveling.
That's my baby.
It'll be a level 6 little halfling.
Level 6
Yeah.
Scrooge.
And yeah, that is it. We will play.
Where am I at?
Oh yeah, I deleted your XP. You're at
I mean,
123,000 out of 200,000. So you still need to get about 70,000 because you had just leveled recently.
Yeah.
So you need quite a bit of XP. Not nearly as much XP as the elves will need for the level after this one,
I'm looking forward to that.
because they need to get to 125,000 level here, and then the next level after that is 250,000, and then the level after that is 400,000. So there's a climb.
It goes up quick.
Yeah, I think your next level you get it at 200,000, and then I think for you it goes to like 300,000
Yeah,
after
that's
that
about
to
right.
get to level 9. No, to get to level 10, I should say. Yeah, and then Sid Blarth needs to get 120,000, and then after that's 240,000. Yeah. So thank you guys for playing. I had some good time tonight. We
Yeah. Well done.
didn't actually need to do combat this time because you guys decided to not solve your problems with violence.
Missed opportunity.
But you guys proved yourselves capable of acquiring and selling hippogriffs after raising them for several weeks. So you guys are now known as providers of hippogriffs.
Cool.
Hell yeah.
You guys will be trusted for things like that. And we will be playing next. What is that? Oh, the 6th. So 2 days after 4th of July. So unless people are taking like that week off and like traveling the country and that's not available, we will plan on playing July.
I don't
Actually,
think
So
I
that's why I'm
can.
asking, because it is a holiday
Yeah.
week. So
No, I have to close that night because I'm covering for somebody.
fair enough.
and I
does suck.
too will be away that night.
So I have a better schedule for the 2 weeks after that. So actually, starting the 6th, I'm taking 2 weeks off. So I'm doing a staycation for 2 weeks after that. So
Okay.
if there's a better night in the week that you guys would be cool with playing in that 2-week period, I'm cool with we delay it for a few days and play on a better time frame for you guys.
Might
So
do it
let
on,
me
like,
know.
Friday or something.
Fridays are usually bad for me, but like Saturdays, Sundays, Mondays, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So let me know. Figure out what that's going to be, and we can coordinate through, Discord. Figure that out.
Good.
Uh, That Tuesday would be great.
So
That
that'd be
works for everybody.
Tuesday the
11th.
11th. I don't know if that works for anyone else.
You say the 11th, I am closing.
Yeah, it doesn't work then.
Wednesday.
My
So we can
Tuesdays
figure
are
that
my
one out.
Monday, yeah.
We can poke about it, think about days, and yeah, we will chit chat over the next few days. Okay.
All right.
Have a
Sounds
good night, everyone. I had a great time tonight.
Have a good
Yeah,
night.
GG's
You guys
everybody.
are
Yeah,
Supergrift
GG's.
Tamers now officially.
Hell yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
Video.
Bye.